You're listening to the Peachy Room Podcast. Everything is up for discussion and debate, except for the drama and the hate. Let's chop it up. Hey. Welcome to the Peachy Room Podcast. We got a real uncut, raw, 2 hours, about 15 minutes of uncut, raw basketball talk. Marcus Not Black, Brad Toomer, Corey Toomer, and DC, they went hard at it last night. I'm going to play the uncut. I didn't do any editing. We're going to let it run. I'm going to pick up right where I start recording. So we're going to let y'all have it. I have a show tonight with Scott Williams, former high school basketball coach at Mount Dora High, state champion coach, former coach at Lake Region, I think, and also the current high school, Popka High School coach. So we're going to let this run. Y'all let me know how y'all enjoy it. Peace.
I'm thinking about his dick. It's pretty legit to be up there now. Because I'm thinking about his dick. It's pretty legit to be up there now.
Yeah, look, Not Black definitely up there. Like,
went to the championship 3 years, MVP the year that they won now, bro.
Man, we got
him just being him being so talented, like it ain't.
Yeah, we got
he playing on the Nike circuit.
We got enough confusion now with little old Lake County.
I mean,
DC?
Ain't no confusion because number. Okay, put it like this. How do we know Usain Bolt is the fastest in the world? How do we know that?
Because he ran it. I mean, nobody could beat him.
Right. Because of the time, right? The time is what? A number, and numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. The whole world is the fastest because of a number.
But what's the debate? Like, give me a debate on the top 15 guys. Give me a debate on somebody from Mount Dora, and I'll answer your debate. Like if you had to question somebody.
Yeah.
Wait, on the first five? No, the first five is I'm cool with the first five. The first.
A lot of y'all don't know Joe Wiggins, which
right.
Yeah,
no,
we can't debate on the Source Hoops because that ain't even come from none of Source Hoops made that shit up.
Right. Oh,
so we can't talk about Source Hoops at all.
Okay.
I'm talking about the top. What did he do? The top 20? What we did? The top 20?
The top 20.
Joe Wiggins. Joe Wiggins on them by.
So Joe Wiggins was a 3-year varsity starter. Not bad fighter played against Joe. Joe for 2 years averaged at least 20 game. I know his junior year and I know his senior year he averaged them to 25. Again, he averaged a double, played out of position. Joe, hands down, if you say top 5 players of Mount Dora, from me not even watching Dan, what y'all talked about Dan, and Dan only having one solid year, Joe would have ate Dan alive. Because Joe played inside, outside.
Okay, so Joe over Dan, but over somebody else.
Joe Wiggins is top 5. Joe Wiggins is top 5 players in Mount Dora history.
That's facts, Bradley.
Based on what? His numbers.
But what are all state? Did he get district, all state, all something?
He was all county. He was definitely all county every year.
He was first team all county.
Yeah, that ain't even a question. I mean, shit. Like I'm sure Bill ain't make all county 3 years in a row. Not first team.
Okay, babe. Okay. He not on that first list though. He's not. He on the third in the middle, right?
No.
The list is on the name.
Hold on.
It ain't a certain order.
Yeah, that's what everybody got caught up on.
Okay.
Everybody got caught up on that. You know how it was the first top 20 was listed.
Okay.
That wasn't in no certain order. It was just names.
Oh no! I made sure that the guys with pictures would be on the list on their slots. So it wasn't like a first team, second team, third team. I couldn't tell you that. And to be honest with you, I had no. Only person I would vouch for on that wasn't on that list that I vouched for was Chad Boyd.
Oh, and boy, Chad. I'm looking at. Did Chad start all 4 years or no?
Man, Chad started
all 4 years in Mark Dora.
Yeah. What I'm saying, and then when I'm doing my research about it, it say in the championship game, Chad had 16. Mark Dora only won by 5. Greg had 25. Without Chad 16, they don't win.
Corey,
Chad was big that game.
You can't go off of that.
No, but
go off that say don't win
for a top 10 ranked team. Oh, but he didn't get all state the whole thing. Oh, he got all state though.
Yeah, he was all state. He was third team all state and player of the year. Chad Boyd is the all-time leading scorer in Lake County history, bro. He played 2 years on varsity in middle school. Yeah, he played 7th and 8th grade at Mount Dora Bible.
Oh, Chad was one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too. And he was smooth. Had the black boy haircut. He was smooth.
Yeah. He was.
Chad averaged double figures as a freshman. I mean, I averaged like 20, 21.6, 22. Chad was our second leading scorer, I'm sure.
Yeah, he
behind me. Yeah, that was like 10 to 12 points.
Damn. Hey, DC, I had the luxury of
another number. Just hit
John Lipset had gave me all the tapes from.
Hold on, let me see.
93 to 96. He gave me all the game films from each game, man, and I went back and watched every one of them and kept stats and stuff like that. And then I used to watch. I watched it when Corey was a freshman. Then he had Robert Harris, Mike Sears, and stuff like that. And I just saw the difference. And then when they left,
niggas already going in. I'm waiting on that black as the child.
Came in, and then they had, I think it was John Reed, and they had El Reed. Yeah, and it just was a totally different team, and it was just really just Corey and then the help of Chad, and he was the first.
Yeah, my senior year we sucked, and we still went 21 and 6.
Right,
we were trash, and we went 21 and 6.
Hello, but. Another thing too, like y'all was all right in David. What's going on there, bro?
From Tavares. Yeah.
We got Not Black in now, man. What's up, Mark?
Okay. Not Black, what up?
What's up, fellas? What's up, guys?
DC, man. Hey, man.
What's up?
All right.
What's up, boy? It's Toom.
What's up, Toom?
Chillin', man.
What we talking about, man? What we talking about? What's the league?
I guess Ted's gonna get it down to the nitty gritty for us on some talk. We're gonna talk real basketball because me and you, and I think you came out. Not that when you came out, 91, 90?
92.
92. So you came year after Bill. So I played against you my freshman year then. So you knew Bill Perry them. I know you played against Bill them. Did you remember playing with Joe Wiggins?
I remember Joe. During that time, it just wasn't. If he was on the team, it was probably somebody else on the team that I remember. But I don't remember. I remember Joe growing up. We played at the park and stuff like that. But I don't remember his game in high school.
3 years.
Yeah, Joe was the best player on the team.
I mean, when we played, I don't even know if we played Mount Dora during that era.
I don't think y'all did. Y'all didn't start playing Mount Dora until I got a December freshman.
Yeah, I don't remember playing Mount Dora because the conferences and everything was different then. We spent a lot of time in Orlando, playing like Jones and Osceola.
Yeah.
What high school then?
Put it like this, DC. If it was pickup ball game going on, you had Joe, Bill, all them guys out there playing. Just to show if somebody picked up Bill, somebody will pick up Joe.
Okay.
He wouldn't be the last 5. He wouldn't be the last. He would be in that first 10 people to get picked. So if you made captain on the first pickup ball team, and Not Black made captain, Bill and Joe gonna get picked off that list. In the first game, it could be 30 niggas out of the gym.
Yeah, definitely at the park because the gym.
And I keep
Mark Dora.
I think Bill was young. Oh, Mark Dora was sorry?
Yeah, Mark Dora wasn't good. That when Eustace ran everything. Eustace was the team that beat.
Oh, yeah.
That was Bill. That was around Bill. That was around Bill there. You got to remember.
Hold on, stop. Houston was good in their conference. When Bill was really good, when Bill and them team was the year Bill and them team was really good. What is it? 89? I think it was 89 or 90. Yeah, I think it might have been 90. Leesburg had the best team in the area besides Osceola and Jones in 89 and 90. But we fell off in 91 and 92.
Okay.
Bill last year.
Okay.
So Houston, what I was going to say was before Bill became a freshman, Houston had won a district championship at since Kenny Green. So Houston wasn't even good.
Oh wow. Hey.
Yeah.
Houston, you can read up on that when Bill was a freshman. I think they won their first district. Houston started getting good then. So Leesburg had to run it from the early 80s, and Mount Dora was very good in the early 80s. Mount Dora was a top 5 team in the state.
I don't know if y'all remember his name. It was a kid on the team with Bill when Bill was young that was their leading scorer. I cannot remember. I think he was from Mount Dora or Leesburg somewhere. He transferred to Houston, and he was to me, he was their best all-around player at the time. He was a 2-guard.
Who was that?
I just can't remember what his name was. I know he had a curl or something. I think he had a curl. Him and Alvin Moore.
Oh, you talking about Mike? You talking about Mike?
Mike, what's Mike's last name?
And what Mike's last name was?
Mike Harden.
I know he played with Bill the senior with Mississippi State.
Mike Harden.
Mike Harden. But Bill averaged 20 that year.
Mike was like that.
Mike was their leading scorer when they first started.
Yeah, I know Mike go to my church, man. Dang.
Now he wasn't better than Bill, but he was their leading scorer.
Damn sure.
Yeah, that Houston team was special.
Big Rue was pretty decent. He wasn't no basketball player, but he was the biggest cat on the floor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I just keep hearing about that era. Bill was like a legend. Like he just do everything. Like was Bill really that amazing to watch? And he put up really 20 a game and all this stuff. I just keep hearing. I never seen it before.
Yeah.
I just keep hearing. I was like, you got to go on the list.
Bill was good, man. I was joking with Sean the other day, and it's kind of like it was a handful of guys from this area that had what I call pro talent in high school, and it kind of went to waste. Bill was one of those guys, man, that had a gift, especially playing basketball. Now I saw somebody put him up there in football. Now I love Bill to death.
They had a gift in football.
They take me too far, man.
No, not
listen, we played against them. Listen, we played.
One year, and he got invited to the Florida-Georgia game in that one year.
Listen to me. We played against Bill. Bill was good. The best receiver in the area during that time when Bill was playing was Willie Dickens. I don't know if y'all remember who Willie Dickens was, but if you pull up the magazine, you had Emmitt Smith on the cover of the State of Florida high school magazine, and Willie Dickinson was back to back on the front cover of that magazine. Yeah. Bill was an okay wide receiver. When we played Houston, that year, Dixon was their best player. He was their running back. But their team, from 89, 90, 91, 92, 90 to 92, those guys were okay. But individually, it was Willie Dickinson was the best receiver in this area. Now his problem was the same thing with Bill.
Bill played running back. They said Bill had a 1,000-yard rushing or something. Running back.
Oh man, I didn't see that when we played.
I think Bill did special teams. Bill was. I know he got invited to the Florida-Georgia game off that 1 year. That 1 year play. He only played that 1 year. His 10 years.
A whole bunch of people from our area was getting invited to the Florida-Georgia game. I can name 20 of them. Those guys were really good. You had to be there to see that. Bill could play now because Bill was athletic. But back then, everybody was athletic. Yeah. You just had that one guy who was lucky if he had a quarterback team threw the ball or vice versa. It's just like basketball, right? There are other guys back then that could score better than those guys, like for instance, Leesburg. We had a coach that wouldn't let you shoot.
I'm going to stop him.
So you couldn't score a lot of points. Then you had guys like the coach in Tavares at one point wouldn't let them guys shoot. There was a coach at in Claremont that wouldn't let his guys shoot. Back then when Bill was playing, it was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time a coach let them guys, and that's why they went as far as they went. Because for the first time, just like Leesburg won their first championship when the coach came in and just let them guys, Joe and them just play. He didn't say, hey, you can't do this. Like Jed. I joke with people with Jed. Jed didn't average a lot of points in high school because I was a coach on the JV team when Jed was in high school.
Right.
We were in a meeting, and the coach came in there, and he gave Jed a sheet. And Jed was crying when he came to me. On that sheet, the coach Coach Todd had put on that Jed could only take 10 shots a game. Yeah. And this is real life stuff. Jed was crying because he couldn't play like that. He couldn't do it. He couldn't just do it. Yeah. And so those kind of things happen. So there were guys that was good. There were guys that scored a lot of points and could play, but they were just in bad situations. Those are the. So it's like with Corey. Corey, you was on a team in Mount Dora where you could do whatever you wanted to do back then, man. Yeah. I heard. Like Joe was.
I heard.
And they other places wasn't letting guys do that. So you had guys that was really good that you would never know were really. It's like that's why we got rid of some of the coaches in Leesburg because they were destroying
coaches, man. The coaching in Leesburg was bad. Then that's basically what you're saying.
It was terrible. Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was my high school coach at the time when I played high school was the golf assistant football coach, a great guy. Boy. He never played a day of basketball a day in his life ever. Yeah, Leesburg wasn't good when I was coming out. That's because a lot of guys had stopped playing.
It was football. Yeah, football. Now,
football, that's right. That's right.
Orion.
Because we didn't have no coaches. That was my football team. Yeah, that was my football team. Exactly. But that's why you got a lot of guys that's in a bad situation or you just won't know about.
But Bill hand down is the second best player that ever come out of Houston. Ain't even a debate.
I agree with that.
I heard
that's not a debate.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Second best player. No, he said hand down the best player.
He said he the second first. Yeah, Kenny Green was first.
Oh, Kenny Green. Yeah.
So then who's third? Fourth. Who would be third? See, I would be skipping errors because I don't know what I don't got.
Hey, hold on. Before we get into that,
we just talking about basketball.
I'm talking basketball.
We got to go with Wesley.
Yeah,
we go with accolades. We got to go with Wesley number 3.
Hold on.
Well, why you going?
Fellas, hold on.
I'm talking about no, but you're talking about escalated. That don't I don't buy into that because it's different era of playing. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just like imagine me on the state championship Mount Dora team. Imagine Bill on one of those useless teams that played against Bradley. Them. You can't. I can't go off of that. In a lot of ways, I look at basketball. I look at like even when we got older and we played. Those guys wasn't dominant. I don't know how the competition was in that area. Those guys wasn't dominant. Like I would come down and playing pickup ball, playing tournaments for money, and those guys y'all talking about they was in college or on their way to college. They was average players. It was like, but they probably was killing in that era of where basketball wasn't as big as it is now in Lake County. It's certain parts. You know what I'm saying?
With the whole Wesley point, Wesley going to the ABCD camp doing his thing. That's how he got that ranking. You feel me? So that's a whole different ball. Okay, when you go from the national people and proving from national people,
okay,
like, don't mean nothing to me. If I'm national,
that's a good. No, but that what you know what happened with that? What you say that when you say something about that, it's people that paved the way and opened that door up because Lake County wasn't even getting looked at basketball until Juices made the state in '91, and then we started playing outside of Lake County. So now
I disagree with you.
How many guys you had going to big level school? You had Darryl Davis
before Bill. No, see that. I'm gonna tell you where you forgot. You forgot before there was a Bill, there was a East Laurie, there was a Tommy Willis, there was a Eddie Foster, there was a Kevin Arnold, Kevin K. Rock.
What Eddie went to school at? What Eddie went to school at, bro?
Eddie played at UCL.
School.
That's what I'm saying. So like Wesley played it. But what he's saying is Wesley played at the next level, like ABCD camp. Even Darryl Davis did do that, bro. And
Kevin Arnold could have played any. Kevin Arnold had scholarships all over the country. He just chose a school that was close to, and he was academically sound, so he went to college. There was guys that had that, like Kevin was the best point guard to ever play in our county. The best point guard that ever played in the county. K-Rock. Best point guard I've ever seen. And I've seen everybody. He's the best point guard I've ever seen. He's the reason that I didn't even play as a freshman.
Being said, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, even Michael Jordan was McDonald's All-American, bruh. Come on now. That was long. That was in the 80s. Even Jordan was that. So
you know what I'm saying, bro. The door of basketball to me, I'm looking at when I played. All right, the door, and when Bill played in my era, the door of basketball didn't open up until like in that major way until then. Like Wesley was. I mean, we had that. Like the boy from Claremont, Joe Barry was tough. I couldn't see just because Wesley 6'8" that he just would have dominated over Joe Barry. It was a big boy from Wildwood that was really tough.
That was Lee Shea.
You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is y'all didn't see Wesley Blake as number one center in the state of Florida.
Who you calling number one center?
Chris Richards from Lake Kathleen. You know?
Please do not say Chris Richards, bro. Please do not. Chris Richards had a mediocre high school career, bro. His stats got juiced.
Go on ESPN and you let me know.
ESPN, bro. I'm at the game, bro. I'm at the game.
That's what I'm saying. So you know, Wesley destroyed him.
He had a mediocre career, bro. Listen, he had a mediocre career, but he came off a team, a school that had one of the biggest reputations in Florida for basketball, bro. That's what you ain't getting. Like, any big man came through that shit after Alvin Jones, Chris Davis, B.B. Walden, Livingston Chapman.
Oh, yeah, B.B.,
Kathleen was in the state tournament at the Civic Center, bro, in 87, in 86, 87, 90, 91. Bro, they stayed with basketball players, bro.
So you saying Wesley was the best big man?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he was better than Court. Yeah, I didn't say. I'm saying he wasn't the best player to come out of Houston, bro.
No, I would say he number 3.
Over Court? Highly disagree with that, dog. I saw Court do that shit at all levels,
I disagree with that one too, boy.
You don't like Court?
I love Wesley. That's a good question. That's just a good thing. That's just a good something good to ask. Are we including that?
He was
high school and who they were after, or we just including just strictly high school?
If we're including strictly high school, Court was on a bad team, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there was nobody in the county that could hold Court Jock and hold him to 20-something points without a game scheme. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So if Court would have played 4 years later, he would have still averaged 30 points a game, bro. That's what I'm saying. If Wesley would have played doing 89 to 95, he wouldn't have did the shit that he was doing.
Wesley
if Court was on a better team, he wouldn't have averaged that many
Wesley was
points.
doing that. He was shooting from the free throw line, elbows back.
If Court was on a better team, he wouldn't have scored all them points.
Holla on Gregor.
Why he wouldn't? That bitch was solid, bro.
But what I'm saying, he was another kid that was on a team where he could do whatever he wanted to. Just like Mike Monroe, just like Greg.
Them guys
was on a team where they coach allowed them to kill people. But Ryan Callahan could do that.
I get what you're saying about that, right? Not that. But when you go to the next level and you do the same shit, when he went to Polk State, and Polk State was a legit top one.
We're not talking about next level. Y'all keep talking about
No, we're not. Listen, man. If we're talking about a player, bro, what I'm saying is, he's saying Coy wouldn't have did that on another team. When Coy went to the next level, he did the same damn thing. If he would have went to another team, he would have did the same thing. If he went to the next level, he did it. The man averaged 10 points on every level.
Coy was definitely, to me, better than Wesley. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
That I agree with. Are we just talking about Eustace right now?
I'm not saying talking about Eustace. Coy was 5. I'm just saying based on the high school stuff, Wesley's my number 3.
So you just based it on DC just basing it off high school.
I'm hurting feeling.
That's
What I'm saying,
because in that case, the Jermaine number one, he went to the NBA. Hands down, the whole county.
No,
number one.
Jermaine, no, sir. Jermaine is not number one. Saul Jones is number one player that ever played around here. We're talking about pros.
Come on, man. Y'all sound ridiculous right now. NBA?
With
Saul
had the best NBA career out of all those guys.
But Saul was on JB in 11th grade at 6'7". Saul was on JB in 6'7", 11th grade, bro. You don't remember that, bro?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I remember.
But overall,
he had the best NBA career.
He did not have the best high school career or college career.
He did, bro.
He had the best NBA career.
Number 3 in the nation. Come on, man. Y'all.
Man, listen, you going to college, bro. You're not listening to what Nablat just said. He said the man would have had a better NBA career. Yeah, he just said just NBA.
But I said overall, it would be number one hands down overall.
Hey, listen, I just know if I was playing pickup, bro, and we were playing pickup ball, I'm picking Court before Wesley, bro.
Me too. That's anybody. Anybody would have.
Now y'all go from who the best to now street ball. We had the late night.
No,
talk about nightlife.
You just talking about stats, dude. All you doing is talking about stats, though. What I'm telling you, you talking about accolades. All right, so bro,
the whole thing is LeBron.
The nigga can play.
Nah, I'm gonna help y'all the difference between Wesley and Corey. Hey, let me give you the reason why Wesley and Corey is different. Wesley was lazy. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. If Wesley wasn't lazy, Wesley would have had a long-lasting NBA career. Wesley was a very lazy young man growing up. Corey was one of those kids that was a freak of nature. He was physically could play his position. He could handle the ball. He could shoot the ball. He could dribble the ball. If he wanted to, he could pass. His weakest part of his game was defense. Corey was one of those guys that should have been playing in the league if he had the mental mindset. So Corey was like Greg. Their bodies were designed to be pros, and they didn't utilize it. So Corey was definitely better than Wesley as a high school player. Wesley was just the biggest kid in the area.
Right. That's my point. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Who else could handle a 6'9", 6'10"? Who could stop that?
Dan Martin. Dan Martin.
I'm glad you said it now, that. So it won't be a Mondor thing, because all I keep hearing is, I watched him, nigga alive.
I watched that. I watched that develop. Dan was first team when Wesley was on second, third team All-State, All-County. Dan was the absolute most dominating player during his time frame of playing high school basketball.
Who was a better player out of Wesley and Dan?
Dan.
See? But he gonna go off accolades. But Wesley had more upside because he was bigger.
No. But now
Wesley had a better team.
And had a better team.
Now I'm thinking about what you said.
That's true. He had a better team and upside. Now, Black. He's 6'9".
Yeah.
Dan Martin was about 6'5".
I get what you're saying.
You got a 6'9". That's okay. That's the same way you look at Chris Richards. You boost the stats up. He's 6'9", 6'10". He's gonna look like he's the number one player in Chris Richards wasn't even the best player in Polk County, bro. He wasn't the best player in Polk County, but his size made him, with that team name, Cavalier just won state 2 years ago after Chris started playing. You got to remember, Chris had one good year, which that's all it takes. But that don't mean he's the best player. We have a debate right now. Chris, I don't even get, Chris makes third team all Kathleen best players, bro. And you're saying this guy was the number one player in the state.
Well, you know what else?
That's what I said.
You got to put in errors. You got to put in errors.
Right.
I'll tell you what else Wesley had growing up. What Wesley had is what most NBA guys had. Regardless of what Kenny did, Wesley has always had the NBA name attached to his lifestyle. His dad was a pro. So every time you mention Kenny, you mention Wesley. You think about Kenny. And if you think about every kid that's in the pros right now, they came from some type of NBA or really high-level athlete background in most places. We don't have a lot of those. That's why we don't have a lot of – like Bill. If Bill would have made it to the pros, Bill kids probably would have been pros. But because Bill didn't make it to the pros, Wesley had something that ain't nobody had. Wesley daddy could make a phone call to an agent or somebody and say, look at my son. Who knows why Wesley went to DePaul opposed to going to North Carolina? Because Wesley was being recruited by everybody. But Dan Martin was too. and Greg Britton. They just didn't have somebody that was back then. Nobody wasn't really trying to help them guys do nothing or care what they
none of that stuff. But that was my point now, Black, about the basketball. Like what you just said, we just now with Leesburg winning the way they winning, is you talk about Lake County, you're gonna speak on Lake. But it wasn't talked about the same way you hear about Polk County or Orange County. It wasn't talked about, bro, because nobody was getting to the White House. We were just good basketball players around here. So the basketball conversation didn't come up till 91 when Eustis made it.
Yes.
So then 7-8 years later, Mount Dora winning. Now you got Leesburg beating that shit over and over and over again, bro. So the conversation gets talked about. Bro, we weren't even mentioned in the state of Florida for basketball like that, dog. It was barely where you heard about that until then. That was my point. Like, we didn't get the repetition like where scouts would come, sit down, and say, I'm going to go to Lake County. I know some talent here. You're going to go to Fort Lauderdale, bro.
But Leesburg did. That's why I said that. Let me tell you why people forgot. You had Ed Chapman, went to Florida State. You had a state championship team in 77. My Uncle Wayne. You had Matthews Walker, Bill Kid's grandfather. Those guys were being recruited by high major Division I guys back then. The difference is they either didn't have a grade or, honestly, the coach that was coaching the team could care less. So what happens to that, right? A college coach only going to come once or twice to recruit a kid. If they see that's what's happening in Lake County right now. What happens, and I deal with this, my son's going D1. What you got right now, you got coaches saying, I'm not going to Lake County to recruit no kids, for one, because they're not going to be academically sound, and the coaches are trash. So I ain't going to recruit no kids that come from a bad coach.
I disagree with that now, Black. I disagree because right now your son put himself on the next level because of where he played AAU at. The recruiting process.
That's why I say high school.
Yeah. But back then you didn't have it.
But the transfer portal right now in college is at over 800, 900 kids transferring from college to college, right? When I talk to these college coaches and I ask them why, when I ask them why, you know what they say? Because a high school kid from a specific area comes straight to a Division I, they recommend that kids go to JUCO so they can be ready. Because just like when I went to college, I played for Gene Smith. The first thing Gene Smith said to me when I got there was, your high school coach ain't teach you nothing. Because think about it. Back then, guys played out of position.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, boy, a college coach ain't coming to Polk County unless they see them guys on the circuit. That the way they recruit down here.
Well, that's because the recruitment changed. That's because the opportunity to go out and recruit changed. It changed.
Yeah. So I put Wesley at number 4. I ain't said West. And I don't care what I did to him. I put Wesley at my fourth best useless guy. Now, still, that's the debate. And this is where I get reading all the posts the other day. You look at 5 guys from 5 or 6 guys from East Town. What Jimmy did, when I saw Jimmy was special with his size. I thought Jimmy was a special kid. I can't name another useless kid that I looked at after Jimmy. I say, dang, they dominated. They made me want to come. I want to come see Jimmy play.
Reggie Burnett.
Oh, you're being here. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Reggie Burnett didn't even get a left hand like his senior year.
Reggie.
He needed.
He still was better
than all them guys. Eventually ended up being way better than all of those guys.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
So if Jimmy is, I put Jimmy at number
be talking cash
5.
shit.
You add one more guy on, you kill that conversation that Courtney and all them was.
I watched the Kai, the other corner.
Mm-hmm.
The Kai mentality different.
Fucking basketball, bro. So you gonna name all these guys because you went to state. If you go to state and you win state, somebody on your team is gonna be first team all state. Let's keep that.
Every time.
Every time. That's just the power of the media. So it ain't no. It can't. I can't get hyped off of that because your students about Sean. Sean averaged 8, 9, 10 points. Sean was still all state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's all.
I don't know. I didn't see 2.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna get to that argument. We go to Mount Dora. I'm gonna get to that when we go to Mount Dora. So I wouldn't know this guy because Courtney was a defensive stud. My cousin Joe was a defensive stud. Them guys weren't giving you 20-something in this game, bro. So I can only pick 5 guys from Houston. Them guys would give you 20-some a game. So they had great teams.
You know what I'm saying?
Akeem, Courtney, all them guys, they had y'all had great solid teams back then, bro. But for the player, when you talking about best players in the county, I can't name 10 guys from Houston. I can't name 10 guys from Mont Dore. So I try to break it down. I try to break it down. So I would stop right there if y'all say Reggie, but Reggie came after the fact with his talent, right? He wasn't dominating in high school, was he? From what y'all saying.
I mean, he was 5 guys. I was on the team with Reggie. I was with Reggie. Reggie, we played Florida Air. Like I said, Florida Air had $2 million All-Americans on the team.
I'll wrap your ass up.
6'11" Sasha Kern signed with Kansas. 5'10" Walter Hyde every 30 games signed with Florida. Reggie dropped 32, and we won 92-90 at Curtright. That's crazy.
So that's 6 players. So do we put Reggie at number 6?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, before y'all do that, has anybody brought up Nick Pride?
Right.
Yeah, but Nick, I was on that team. Reggie was better than Nick, but Nick was also Nick was honorable mention that year. Reggie was all state.
No, Reggie was. I haven't seen anybody bring Nick's name up.
Yeah. No, you know Nick quiet, man. Nick very quiet out there on that court, and he just do his job. Like.
But Nick was our second or third.
So let me ask y'all this: how many years did Nick dominate?
Right.
He had one great year. He had never played JV. I mean, B had played JV. No, B had was at the very same varsity, transferred to Houston and played JV with B, and then he started the next 2 years on varsity.
No, what I'm saying, did he have 2 dominating years on varsity? I'm asking a question about dominating.
Yes.
Okay, so why we ain't mentioning him then? I don't know. I know Bill Perry was a 4-year starter. Bill Perry was a 4-year starter, scored over 1,600 points in the 4-year career. Coy Patterson averaged 20 points 2 years in a row. You know, he played 2 years of varsity, and he put up the numbers on varsity them 2 years.
He did what he had to do when he was on varsity.
He did what he had to do. Wesley was a 4-year starter that actually dominated.
Yeah,
Jimmy
Wesley
Hudson had
for
at least
sure.
3 or 4 years. Yeah. Jimmy Hudson had to play 3 or 4 years doing something. We wouldn't even talk about it.
Right.
And Jimmy last year, Jimmy only averaged 12, but Coach told Jimmy to guard the best player on the floor every time. So that brought down his scoring a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Jimmy was a soldier,
I don't think we have any other argument about the useless guys, but the useless guys trying to make more of an argument about it. There's 6 guys from useless that we should be talking about, bro. And we're not even and we're out of respect of Reggie and Jimmy. We're not even talking about anybody else that was on that 91 state team other than Bill. Them guys had some players, bro. They had the Mike Harden, Nolan, and Albert Puss that we ain't even talking about, bro, that could play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, I like that. I like Kenny Green, Wesley, Coy, Reggie.
That's
Bill. I'm sorry.
Eustace.
Bill and Jimmy. Those are the
You only gonna have
the ones.
So we talk Mont Dore. So let's talk Mont Dore then. Houston was pretty much locked in. So all the arguments those guys were making about better than other guys, I'm looking at let's break this down by the school. So if we talk to Varies, we know K-Rock, which we didn't bring up these guys because they wasn't 90. But K-Rock and all, there's no question about Derek Davis. Anybody who knows kind of basketball should know who Derek Davis is.
Yeah.
Wait,
we didn't bring up the best player either, bro.
Huh?
Best player.
We didn't bring up the best player from or Jason Davis.
Best player from Tavares was all time was Ike.
On the way.
Ike was 90s. Ike was in the 90s. But we got him. Ike and K-Rock would definitely be 2 players.
Now who is?
But you got Derek Davis and Jermaine. That's who you know.
You gotta include Jason
K-Rock from Leesburg.
Oh, I thought you said he was from Tavares.
No, Kevin Arnold was from Leesburg.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Arnold was the point guard that lost to Miami Senior. Ike.
Bill Perry. Darryl Davis.
What about the Benefits? I'm saying, I heard they was nice.
Have a top of.
Bro, you heard, bro. We talking about dominating players, dog.
They were dominating.
Jason Davis.
Yep.
I respect Jason Davis career because he played 4 years. But he wasn't dominating.
Jason, if Chad Boyd can't be, if Chad Boyd ain't in the discussion, Davis definitely can't be in the discussion.
Right, can't be in the discussion, bro. Exactly.
The best players from Tavares were transfers with guys when what's name was coaching there, and he was bringing all them guys from overseas like the Hugo and Manny, and when Bianchi was there. So all of those guys were like, those were high major Division I guys. Now that's why they was coming there, and couple of them went to the pros. Like the Hugo went to the, and Manny just quit, but those weren't Tavares kids. So I wouldn't even add them to the mix because they weren't here. They weren't from here. They were just kind of pass through guys.
Coming through, yeah, that makes sense.
But Tavares, Tavares had 3 dominating guys, and one was Ike, who's not in the 90 range. Darryl Davis, definitely, and Taylor.
And Reggie Burnett.
But you gotta put
what year Reggie
Davis in there. You can't.
That was way before them guys.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on Jason Davis, bro, because I played 4 years against the kid.
Right.
Octavius was good too, now.
Yeah.
I know people questioning Octavius' ability, but Octavius his accolades was better than the youth guy.
Marcus.
How many years he played at Tavares?
Octavius was
the point guard for them for 4 years.
Yeah,
Octavius.
If he played,
was in Tavares for 4 years.
But if he played him, he grew up right next door to me in Mount Dora. If he played in Mount Dora would have been probably in Lakeland 2 out of them 4 years.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah,
that's why Octavius did transfer from Mount Dora.
Yeah, he couldn't get along with the coach. He couldn't get along with the coach.
He played 2 years in Tavares.
I think he played 2 too. I think he played 2.
I think he played 2 years in Tavares.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Jason Davis got to be in there, bro.
We got Darryl Davis, Jermaine Taylor, and Jason Davis.
I ain't putting Jason Davis on my list, man. I'm not putting Jason Davis on my list.
I'm saying we try to get the top.
I heard y'all rivals, Corey, though. I heard y'all rivals. That's why, Corey. I heard y'all rivals. Now you and Jason Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who told you we were rivals? Who told you that lie?
I ain't saying that, cuz. I'm not saying you personally. We're not talking about how you feel about it. Yeah.
No, who told you we were rivals? I'm not saying about who told you we were rivals. My rivals was you.
Hey.
No, we talking about individually.
Hey, I
put it like this. If
I know you, I'm talking about killing him.
Are we trying to name
your name?
Are we trying to name 5 or 6 players from each town? Or are we trying to name the best players?
You know who Tavares?
Only 5 guys I used to. I see 2 guys.
Tavares,
I would add Jason.
Tavares' next best player was Chucky Lane.
Oh yeah,
Chucky Lane.
No,
Chucky was definitely their next best player. Yeah, that's real.
So if we gonna get 5 guys, I would go Jason, Chucky, Darryl Davis, Taylor Kid, and Jermaine. Yeah, I got 4 from Tavares that were like dominant. But Chucky was very dominant. Chucky was
very dominant in the 90s.
I never seen him play.
Yeah, Chucky.
Chucky was their best player in the 90s.
Yeah, Chucky was definitely player of the year, up for player of the year his senior year.
Yeah,
he was in that conversation. Yeah.
That's what's up.
So we got.
All right. So we go.
So we're moving on to what?
Mount Dora now.
Mount Dora.
All right.
We'll say Leesburg for last. Leesburg been dominating basketball up there. We'll say Leesburg for last because they've been dominating. So Mount Dora. All right. The question was Joe, but like if you're looking at the time frame we're talking about, we missed out on Dan Martin. Dan Martin should be on that list. I think we
should definitely be on that list.
Agreed.
Okay, but my thing is that Dan do that for 2 or 3 years compared to what Joe did for 2 or 3 years.
I saw
2 years.
Dan, so I'm asking y'all.
2 years, Dan was the most dominant big man in the county.
Okay.
So he definitely should be on that list. All right.
Most definitely.
So who we got?
If we go 6, if you go me, Robert.
Wait, so hold on. Y'all gotta tell me about Harris. I seen him play before. Now he a dog. I seen him play before and put on numbers. But then he put up the numbers to get the all state and all that stuff, the all district.
Who, Robert?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Robert. There ain't no discussion, bro. Robert was all state 2 years, bro. Robert,
Okay.
third leading scorer in Montreal history.
Against Cordell, he was giving the Cordell some of them buckets, boy. I remember that. And
Yeah, he gave everybody buckets. He gave everybody buckets, bro.
I'ma just tell you that Aaron Rob, the best street ball player I ever seen in my life.
Me and Robert the best. Me and Robert had the best 1-2 combo I've seen. I don't know a better 1-2.
okay.
That average
Wait, that's 5, ain't it? Ain't that 5?
Yeah, but y'all forgetting Marcus Sears, which is Booker. I know you played it. I don't know. You didn't play it.
I don't know him at all.
That year. But he's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame. Scott Williams did the Hall of Fame. Marcus Sears' name's on the Hall of Fame. And Bill,
What year did Marcus Sears come out?
One. He was first team all county.
I don't know why I don't remember him.
Yeah.
91. 5'9" point guard. Averaged 20 a game.
Oh, that's why I don't remember him, because he was 5'9". That's okay. Now I know who you talking about. I know exactly.
The best
dude
left
that
hand
used to
I've
run
ever
around
seen.
all. Man, he used to run around all over. He reminded me of Dale Rachel. He used to run around all over the place. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Was he getting recruited or anything? Like who? Update us on who Marcus Sears like.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm giving you all
There's a lot of people though that was
Brad.
state.
Brad, this is what he was, Brad. He was a fan favorite. He was one of those little guys, right, that everybody loved because he played hard all the time. I knew. I put a face. He was a kid that if you put him in the game, he's going to run from time the game starts to the finish. He's going to try to guard everybody. That's why.
I like everything.
Clear to me. You know,
I gotta get that.
that don't qualify to me as somebody that's just like.
But he put up
Bill Perry.
20 a game.
Besides Bill Perry, Booker was the second best player in the county. Booker was the second best point guard in the county besides Bill Perry. In what year? In what year? 91. 91.
No, man, you crazy, man. You crazy.
Name somebody. Name somebody that was better than Marcus.
Me?
Not gonna get at your mouth.
You didn't play no. You didn't play no point guard.
What position I played?
Well, how's that? You played point guard and averaged 20-some points your senior year?
If y'all grow,
My senior year, I averaged 25 points.
y'all get y'all program
And I was a shooting guard. I wasn't a point guard.
all season.
Now, I played against you my senior year, but not that. You came out at 92.
Who? I came out in 92.
Yeah, this man came out at 91. I said in 91.
You saying he was better than he was the best player with Bill Perry?
He was a second behind Bill Perry. So you saying your junior year you were better than Marcus?
There was the only person in the county that was even in the same discussion when we talk about basketball was myself and Bill when I was getting ready to graduate. And Willie Dickens, man.
Did you hear that sentence?
Yeah.
I can give you another one. Henry Bailey. Like, I remember Marcus Sears. He was just a little guard. Henry Bailey was big. He was our power forward. He was the one that made the All-Star.
Who is Marcus Sears? Where did he play after high school? Like, who is he?
Oh, that I can't answer for you.
No, he didn't.
I know he was too small. He was too small to go play some major basketball.
So if I Google him, he gonna be all state, all this, all there, right?
Up in Utah somewhere.
I don't think it was all state. Where Montreal had to start a team.
Well, that's what you.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Listen to what I'm telling y'all, bro.
What kind of shit?
Listen, man, Chad Boy wasn't better than no motherfucking Marcus Sears, bro. Chad Boy wasn't better than Marcus Sears.
No, that's a true statement.
It ain't one. Listen to me. It ain't 1 year on playing basketball. My 4 years that Chad would have started over Marcus on any year. It ain't 1 year. No point guard on Mark Door team would have started over Marcus, bro. When I was playing, not one point guard from that 90 from 91 to 98. Sean wouldn't have started over Marcus.
Oh no,
Yeah, man.
Corey, you pushing it.
Hey,
Corey.
you know, Marcus Sears got to be.
You got to be
y'all got to play.
He was a fan favorite
in Oakwood.
He wasn't
that got to be your guy.
Marcus Sears was a crowd
favorite. Y'all Montreal basketball, bro.
I've never heard of him. I've never Heard
So
of this
why,
man.
why would he be in the Hall of Fame? Why would he be in the Hall of
But
Fame?
I'm telling you, though, I've never heard nobody talk about him. I've never heard
I'm
nobody
tell you
talk
why
about
he's
him.
in. Because
Still at Leesburg.
the same reason why Ryan Callahan and Marlon Bryant jerseys retired at Leesburg and nobody else is. You have coaches that like specific players, and I can be honestly, I can tell you
Scott
why.
didn't coach him. Scott did not coach him, man. Scott didn't coach him.
Put him in the Hall
Scott
of
did not even
Fame.
coach Marcus. Scott did.
Who put him in the Hall of Fame?
Scott did, and Scott didn't coach him.
What was it?
Scott played
What was
against
Scott
him.
reasoning? What was, Scott played against it?
Scott played.
Hey,
Scott was that useless, man.
Hey, cuz, how is Marcus still in the Hall of Fame? But think about this. How is he in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Tell me right or wrong. Chad Boyd ain't in there. John Peterson.
Lynn.
I don't know.
Scott, you got to remember,
Greg
Scott left then, bro. Scott left. So let's go back to that.
Right.
Scott left, bro. But what I'm telling you is that not one guard that you're gonna name is gonna start over Marcus in the from 90 to 98. I don't got one guard that will start over Marcus.
But this goes back to that point that you said body of work, like as a basketball player, when you were talking about Wesley.
Right.
I mean,
all 4 years. I'm sure that 5 for now, but did not play varsity all 4 years, bro. I'm sure he did.
Who? Marcus
Yeah,
did?
but like,
And start. I'm sure he did.
Marcus played 3. He played 3 years. If he didn't play 4, he played 3.
And he started all 3 years?
Yeah, he started all 3 years. Yeah, he was better than Chad, bro. I'm telling you, his body where he was a better basketball player than Chad and Sean in high school.
I agree. No, he wasn't better than Sean.
Sean averaged. No, what did Sean? What did
Sean
Sean make
wasn't a
y'all
scorer.
on?
Sean wasn't a scorer. Sean was a
This
true
guy could
point
be-
guard, just
listen.
like Kevin Arnold.
Yeah, 50 minutes now.
This guy could be a true point guard on the team with me and
better
Robin.
than a basketball player. I can tell you that, man.
Y'all,
Be so funny.
y'all disrespecting Marcus Field, bro.
No, we
Y'all
just don't
disrespecting
have
Marcus
I
Field.
don't know.
Season.
I remember
Hey,
Marcus
but on
Field,
the other
and
end,
Oh,
I'm reading about Joe Wiggins now. Joe Wiggins averaged
I'm doing high school too, cuz.
21. He put 39 on Clemmer one time.
Yeah, I
So
got-
Wiggins should be on him.
Queen, one
Wiggins
article,
averaged
bro.
21, bro.
And like I'm doing now.
Bro, again, we're talking about a list of players that I know that y'all don't know. We're talking about those.
Right.
All right, we ain't
Right.
comparing. We're not comparing the other county guys, dog. We're talking about
Right.
Mount Dora.
We're gonna do it now.
What I'm telling you is, from the time
just
Sean
said,
graduated
Joe
on
Wiggins.
down, I was there. Them 2 guys are top 5 players in Mount Dora, bro. From 90 to 2000,
I think I was in college.
them 2 guys are top 5 players
Right.
in Mount Dora. I'm telling you that. I played and was around basketball at that time. There's not one guy, Chad or Sean, that would have started over this guy at the point guard position. I'm telling you,
God,
That's a different type of basketball, too, Corey. Corey, that's
not a different type of basketball, bro. That was like a combo guard. You know, Chad was a combo guard.
Hey,
That was, man, he could have did
I'ma tell you
everything
who-
Sean did for that team and put up 20
Yeah.
points, bro. Sean was an
But
average.
you know
Sean
what?
couldn't average that,
So-
bro.
So if we doing that, so then that's you compare. So this kid, because when I remember Marcus Spears, he played just like Courtney Keith, just like
There's a lot of
he should have been playing football. That's what I'm telling you. He should have been playing football. He scored a lot of points and got a lot of fast break.
Listen, definitely want a bunch of energy, bro. Definitely want a bunch of energy. Man gave Bill them 29. That ain't just running around the court giving energy.
No, that's getting
I'm telling y'all,
layups.
listen, if it's getting steals and getting layups, that's part of playing basketball, bro.
I know, I agree.
If I'm telling y'all that from that time frame of when I'm around the basketball, I would pick him to start over Chad and Sean at the guard position, bro. Because you're saying Sean was a floor general. He could be a floor general, bro. He could do all of that.
So if we talking about that, then he was better than you.
Right. And a point guard, I didn't play point. I never played point, y'all. I played point 1 year.
Yeah, right. Played point.
Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know that, right? I played point.
I know you.
I know that. Yeah. You can't. You really
I played
can't play
backup point, bro.
Put up 20. Right.
But I'm talking about as a basketball player.
You can't play and put up 20.
Cause Joe Spears, I watched it.
It's hard.
You brought the ball up the court every time.
Right.
I played my senior year, Brad. I played backup point guard
He was shooting.
all the other years, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, his senior year, you had to
Was
play
not
more.
So what I'm asking you though, what I'm asking you though, as a basketball player, do you feel like Marcus was better than you?
Well, I feel like no, I don't feel like it's better than me. But I laugh at y'all. Y'all compare me and Sean. Like I saw somebody doing that. I laugh at y'all when y'all try to compare me and Sean in high school.
So y'all two different types of players. Yeah,
Right, but I would do that.
Two different types of players.
Yeah,
you and Sean.
that makes sense though.
Two different types of players. That's why I said
it don't matter. They're both guards. They're both guards.
You know who you played like more like, and this is to be honest. Bill Perry wasn't a point guard. Bill was not a point guard. Yeah, Bill and K Rock was Bill Perry. K Rock was just like Sean Peterson. K Rock and Sean played alike. You and Bill played alike. Bill might have averaged 1 assist a game.
Or patting his game.
Bill was a shooter.
My whole game was I mirrored Bill game. That's why I knew you was gonna say Bill, bro. I mirrored Bill game.
Right. We're pointing. Y'all were ball handlers. Y'all were ball handlers who scored. That's just like Jed. Jed was the same way. Jed was never a point guard. Jed was always a point scorer. Like he was a guard. You give him the ball, he might pass it, he might make a play, but 9 times out of 10, he was looking for his offense.
I played point guard because in college, that's what I was getting recruited at. So I had to play point guard.
Right. You had to end up playing the position
if I'm on a Montdor team, when you had Shaka, Howard, Marcus Fields, and Sean Peterson, and Mike Sears, Marcus Sears would start at point guard on that team. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He would start at point guard.
If you do a poll and you have people to choose, majority of the people are going to put, I don't know, it's debatable. I'm going with Sean.
Tell me why you're going with Sean. Tell me why you're going
as a basketball player. Are we talking? You got to include wins.
Going on an hour.
Yeah. You got to include all that. Like Sean is the epitome of
Sean is a true point guard, man. He makes you.
And Sean Sean is the best point guard to come out of Montdor. But if I'm picking a team to start with, bro, over the years, we're talking high school, bro. This is where Marcus was at, dog. That's what I'm telling you. This dude was that.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So then, what's your top 5?
Because you like Sean. My top 5 was on that list. And Sean would tell you Sean didn't want you. Me and you went over that not black, but Sean didn't want to be on that list. I was in that same thing.
I got it. Sean got it. Sean gave Sean Peterson.
But not just that. Sean gave Montdor High School something y'all never gave them. A championship. You cannot discredit that. I don't care. And we did it at the next level. And Sean is the only other player who had a chance that I remember to play pro. Right.
So hear me out. It's not an argument about Sean being on the list, right? We all know that. Only one person that question. DC is the one questioning Sean on that list. I don't know how you're doing that. I don't know how they're doing that.
Oh, I was basing it on numbers and all set, and then
what I'm telling you about these other 2 guys. What I'm telling you about this.
Like. How can you be considered one of the best backup players if you played 1 or 2 years JV? Unless your last 2 years you was putting up 50
DC, 20. Let me tell you.
That don't mean you ain't good, DC?
Let me explain it to you, DC. Sean,
I ain't say good. I said the greatest.
Listen, DC.
You feel what I'm saying?
Come on,
Sean is in the greatest conversation because Sean was on the number 1 AAU team in the state of Florida and one of the top 5 AAU teams in the country, and he started on that team with nothing.
And he got the best resume. And he got the best complete resume out of everybody that's probably ever played at Mount Dora. His full body of work. Only other person whose full body of work. In fact, there is nobody because none of them other guys got no state championship. Nobody. Greg would have been the next closest guy, and PJ and them other guys. But Sean, I watched Sean play in the state championship. Sean basically off the state championship. No.
Sean arguably go down in the top 5 players, bro. I got Sean in my top 5. That's not the question.
Definitely.
All right? But what I'm trying to tell you is, the guys that I'm telling you,
I'm finna just go live so everybody can get a preview.
All right?
I agree. Marcus Sears was definitely better than Tad Boyd.
Joe or Dan. Y'all are arguing with me about Booger when I'm trying to explain y'all how good Booger was.
I'm gonna see
I'm
you,
not saying
man.
Sean was the top 5. I'm just telling you that Sean is top 5, but this boy Marcus is in the top 2. That's why he's on that list. From
So who's your all-time best outdoor player?
The one that's on that list.
Wait, how can Marcus be? I'm sorry, not black. But how can Marcus be number 2? But you got a guy like Greg Britton. Like, it just don't even.
No, Marcus Spears is definitely not number 2.
What you mean number 2? Where you get number 2 from? Hold on. Where do y'all get number 2 from? Where do you get number 2? Where you get number 2 from?
He wasn't in the order yet. We weren't doing the order yet.
I didn't say. I said the 2 guys, Joe Wiggins and Marcus Spears, is who y'all is. All right, I'm telling you about those 2 guys.
So who's the Bill Perry of Mount Dora?
Because that's about it.
The best all-time outdoor basketball player.
I got Greg.
And then how do you judge that?
Right.
I say Greg upside. Greg talent. Greg upside and talent will make him the best player to ever come out of Mount Dora.
So I totally now at least we get somewhere. Greg was the only player from Mount Dora to be recruited by Kentucky, and this is when Kentucky was one of the best college basketball teams in the country. And I know this personally because I talked to Scott Williams when it happened. Because our high school coach.
I don't think anybody's ever debated Greg. No, I don't think anybody's ever debated Greg as the best player. I mean, Greg was the 6'5" legitimate guy that Mount Dora never had come to.
Yes, he was.
High position. At least 4 out of 5.
I agree.
Greg,
Okay.
That's never been an argument about that.
Who's number 2?
I got Tuma.
Okay. I agree. Who's number 3?
Man, that Marcus Spears we talking like I guess.
I go Pete. I go Pete. Who? I'm going Sean Peterson. I don't care about his numbers. Are we talking high
school or are we talking about? Are we talking high school or what?
You can't talk about numbers when you're talking about the best player because there's some good guys that just have good numbers.
Right.
Numbers don't mean nothing to me.
Right. I don't mean numbers.
Numbers mean nothing to me.
Sean Peterson.
Yeah.
So you just play basketball just to play basketball, huh? You don't play for numbers, right?
Yeah,
no, man.
But I think you like taking the numbers part and putting that. It's like that's the stamp for if you average 20.
But again, bro, those shouldn't even be debates about me, Greg, and Sean. That shouldn't even be a question. That shouldn't be argument. You should be arguments about flip. Yeah, that's not that shouldn't even be a debate.
Right.
No, definitely not with Greg. You, Sean, and Greg. That's not a debate. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's
so Sean would be 3 then.
Sean would be 2 or 3, bro.
Yeah.
Depends on what you like.
I would say 2 because
Hey, hold on. Over Airman? Over Airman?
Oh. Huh?
Yes.
So you put Sean over Airman?
Yeah, I would put Sean over Airman because the same argument what you just said. If I'm saying the same argument what you just said, I would put Sean over Airman.
Who is Airman?
Robert Harris.
Robert Harris.
Right, but Robert Harris because of his numbers, right?
Robert was a shooter. Robert could shoot.
We talk. Hold on. We talking about
basketball.
If we talking about all around game.
Okay, so Robert. But then here goes my top 5: Greg, Sean, me, Robert, and Joe. And then 6 would be my
top 5. I agree.
So your 6 would be who?
And then Joe. I didn't see Ben. I didn't see Ben. I didn't see him. Yeah, I'm saying Joe D. Model. I didn't see D. Model play.
Oh, I can't
debate on somebody I never seen play, right?
I saw Marcus Spears, and Dan definitely would be your first. Dan would definitely be my first pick. In fact, it would be hard. It would be hard for Dan not to be in the top 5. That's just.
But see, Mark,
after watching all of these guys,
Mark, this is my thing. If
he was better than Joe, ain't nobody never tell me that. But ain't nobody ever tell me like, damn, this guy here better than Joe Wiggins.
When I look at the list and people say D Model should be on there, I couldn't look up that list and pull.
No,
anybody.
ain't nobody say.
Oh no, I couldn't pull anybody off that list to say they shouldn't be on it. Dan should be on it. Now, if Dan was on that list and somebody was on the outside, I would have no problem with that either. But to take somebody off and say they're not working,
But if we was
put Dan on, that's what I had.
If we was going that
I ain't gonna lie.
if we was,
I won't take off Sean though. I won't take off Sean for Dan. I won't do that now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who would you take off?
About Mount Dora?
Off Mount Dora. Who would you take off?
Joe and Marcus. We got Joe and Marcus.
You would take Joe and Marcus off for Dan?
What? No, I'm saying that's who you would have
I don't know about Joe, but Marcus, I would definitely have Dan on there for Marcus.
Right.
Agreed.
But you would have him on there because you already got Sean as your point guard.
Nah,
No,
I'm just
going off five now. Like I'm doing the top five. That's what we doing.
Oh, we
That
got five.
plays a factor now.
Marcus was the sixth man.
Right. Was Dan in
Marcus
the top
was the sixth
five?
man, and then no, Dan wasn't in the top five. Not my top five.
Nothing on there.
I'm taking Joe Wiggins any day over Dan. I ain't never seen Dan play, but I'm not taking Joe off there.
I've seen both of them play. I've seen both of them play. I witnessed both of them play, and Joe got my vote.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, man. As far as
Right.
game for game and seeing Joe play, I mean, like you said, man, Dan was lazy. Wesley, y'all said Wesley was lazy. But
let me ask you a question. What position did Joe play? Like, what did Joe do well?
everything.
What did he do?
Everything.
Everything.
Okay, dribble? Because the older Joe couldn't dribble now.
The older Joe couldn't dribble? What you mean by older?
The Joe, when we started playing at the park and places like that, Joe wasn't really handling the ball like that.
Joe could create his own shot, bro.
Nah, I just
He shot whenever he wanted to, bro.
how tall was Joe?
Yeah.
How tall is Joe?
Joe maybe 6'1".
6'3"?
Oh, 6'1". Man. And he gonna be able to guard D model?
No, he ain't about to guard. The man will put up 20 points.
I'm asking you a question
Again.
Wesley Green, 6'9", 6'10", had troubles with a 6'5". You think a 6'1" person?
Yeah, he would.
Come on now.
He would handle.
Let me ask you this, Bradley. I could have sworn you was in the gym when I played Iggy. I could have sworn you was at Kelly Rec when I played Iggy. Iggy is 6'8", and I beat him in one-on-one
I'm talking about somebody though that's physical though. Like this different. Like
Joe was a lot more physical than Wesley.
Joe was different.
Huh?
Joe was a lot more physical than Wesley, so I would have to answer that yes.
Dan too. Dan was a lot more physical than Wes.
Right.
Wesley
So
wasn't
that's what I'm
physical at
trying
all.
to figure out. Like how is the Joe Wiggins, who Wesley is not a slouch. Like he's 6'9", 6'10". He can guard. He got height. He got length, and he's still giving somebody a little trouble at that size.
Who was more athletic?
Put a 6'1" person. Who was more athletic?
Out of Joe and Dan.
Joe athletic out of the two cooks.
Out of Joe and Dan.
Joe Wiggins.
Joe Wiggins, hands down.
Really?
Joe started at quarterback. Joe started at quarterback for 3 years in Mount Dora.
No, when I say athletic, I'm talking about basketball athletic. I ain't talking about speed.
I'm saying he was an athlete.
Joe Wiggins.
He was an athlete. Joe Wiggins, hands down.
Okay, I remember Joe in football. Okay, I remember Joe. I like Dan because Dan should have been. Dan is another key. I made the Division I guy, man. At the power forward spot. Man, I don't know what happened to him.
Man, it's work.
But we talking about errors, man. If we talking about errors, when y'all saw Dan basketball, what Houston was the only good team?
No. When I'm not talking about no era. I ain't talking about no era. I'm talking about
Joe would have dominated. Joe would have dominated at any time in Lake County when he played basketball.
I agree. I'm just talking about as a player. Like none of this stuff about. The only person on here that I've either seen or coached half of these guys. I've seen all of them play. I remember Joe, and I'm not going to trip. Joe was good. I just didn't think that Joe was as polished as Dan. Like the Dan as a power forward, Dan Martin as a power forward. Like when we started building teams after high school, Dan was the second guy that we would call because you could take Dan anywhere in the country and play against anybody. So In fact, I tried to get Dan to go to school. Like that's how I found out who his son was. I tried to push Dan because Dan would have gotten to college and destroyed people. Like he's a Draymond Green that plays in the paint. And ain't no guys in the pros that do what Dan could do at that level now.
But
now, you're right. Dan was just like every other big guy, just like Wesley. It was lazy. But his already together skills, Dan was a absolute. A high school basketball game, you could literally give him the ball every time, and he would dunk or kill somebody in that paint.
Right.
And he had a nice stretch around the basket.
But Mark, I
So
think
this where it gets crazy. That you and Cedric, the only one that seen both of them, because Brad and DC was shitting in diapers. They was shitting in diapers when Joe played.
Yeah.
So we can't even
Now
that conversation.
Joe was like
Dan.
a guard to me. Yeah, Joe was like a guard to me. Joe played the
That's
small
what he played.
But he didn't handle the ball. He never dribbled. He would catch the ball in the wing, drive to the basket, or shoot a little pull-up jump shot. I never seen his as a player. Like so, when you 6'1", you got to have a basketball IQ and be able to play the game. You can't. I ain't trying to hear.
But he averaged 21.
But points ain't. We talking about points. You go back to Mike Monroe. Mike Monroe averaged 30 points a game. And Mike Monroe couldn't hold your jock strap, but he averaged 30 a game. Points don't mean nothing to me, because if you were talking about points, that has to do with your system. I'm talking about as a basketball player. If I watch you play, I've seen guys that can play the game. Corey, you scored a lot of points, but you didn't have to. You say you wasn't a point guard. Boy, I saw you at Westbrook. You could be a point guard. So that ain't had nothing to do with your game. That was your IQ. That's why you were in this list. It wasn't about you scoring. Because we talking about you scoring. You just shot the ball every goddamn time in high school. In college is when I realized you was a beast at the point. And in high school, you passed the ball more than you give yourself credit for. Sean Peterson.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I averaged 7 assists a game. I ain't taking that.
That's what I'm talking about. But that's because you was a basketball player. Was Joe Wiggins a complete basketball player? Was Joe Wiggins that kind of or was he just a machine?
That nigga was a complete basketball player, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at guys I grew up with that I was like, made me want to play basketball, bro. Bill Perry, Joe Wiggins, Marcus Hill, them type of guys made me want to play basketball, bro. I'm not taking
basketball players. Basketball players. I think
bro. No,
so
I'm
you stand for him.
I literally watched this film of Bill Perry every day, all day, bro, as an 8th grader. That's all I did is watch 2 or 3 games of Bill Perry all day, every day, go to the park and try to do everything he did on the court. I would do the same thing with Marcus. Marcus had the best left hand I've ever seen in basketball around Lake County, period. Joe was that dude, dog. I'm telling you, that's the only guy I never beat in one-on-one is Joe Wiggins. Never beat him.
So then here's how you got to come to the conclusion. Who had the best last long career out of the two?
Oh, Joe Wiggins.
Yeah. Joe Wiggins. Joe went to college. For basketball.
Okay, where you went?
Oh, so then
he went to Carson Newman.
Then Joe go to Carson Newman. Carson Newman, right?
Carson Newman.
For basketball or football?
Yeah.
I thought Joe went to play
basketball. He went to Carson Newman for basketball.
Oh, well, then
I ain't never seen. I went to Carson Newman. I ain't see nothing.
I ain't know Joe. I thought Joe went to school to play football. Because I know he was good at quarterback.
Joe played basketball, bro. Joe went up to Tennessee to play basketball.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dan just went to JUCO.
He went to Gainesville.
Santa Fe.
And I'm not even taking that. I would say, if the argument is that, I would put Dan before Marcus, and Dan to be the 6th for me. I would say that because we got so many guards. I'm not saying that Dan wasn't good. I didn't see Dan to debate that argument on Dan, but I know what I saw with Jordan. But I would put Dan before Marcus in if that's the case. But them 5 I put out there, them 5, I'm around with them 5 at any day from Aldor. Any day.
So now let me go. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in there. Where does PJ fit in that category?
PJ had one good year though.
Cause no PJ, no state championship.
No. Yeah, one good year.
PJ had one good year.
Okay.
Now, hold on. When I say that though, PJ was never gonna get out of the shadow of Greg. He never got a chance to play his senior year.
Yeah.
So if he plays senior year,
that's true.
he in the conversation easily.
Because his skill set is definitely just as good as anybody we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. But in his senior year, with Sean left the boys.
PJ would have been. I think PJ would have been better than Joe Dan. I definitely think that.
Yeah.
PJ had.
If he plays senior year, hands down. Yeah, he on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think PJ. Yeah, PJ had the talent that ain't none. PJ had that talent in all three sports. Like
if
I'm talking about
if PJ plays
now question.
Based on the numbers, but my daughter's squad, we didn't do that.
Didn't what?
We didn't do what?
Oh,
For the Houston squad, everybody on the Houston squad is because of dominate, because they dominated. So how do you?
Everybody on the Mark squad is dominating. Everybody on the Mark squad is dominating, bro.
DC, this is a conversation. Me and Corey had this conversation about a week ago. Hold on, DC.
What is domination there?
Hold on, DC. Hold on. Me and Corey had this conversation about a week ago. Corey, you brought up the fact that you have one, maybe two basketball players, and then 7 or 8 athletes in Win State, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Eustis was to me, in my eyes. They had a couple basketball players and had 7 or 8. Had 7 or 8. I'm talking about outstanding athletes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Outstanding athletes. I can't take nothing away from them boys.
Let me say this to DC,
say Cadero.
Let me say this to DC.
Huh?
Let me say this to DC, so we can clear this up. So we did that for Houston. If Mark Dore was playing during, you came to watch me and Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, those were the names you talked about. They talked about the name. When Mark Dore was with Greg and Sean, you came to watch Greg and Sean. Let's be real. Everybody came to see Greg and Sean.
Hands down.
So what's your debate, bro?
Yeah.
No, bitches ain't come to see Chad, man. Ain't no niggas coming to that gym buying popcorn coming to see Chad boy, bro. You can't see Greg Britton,
You
bro.
forgot that my senator from outdoors. I was the all 4 years. I seen that all 4 years, bro. I was at them games.
You was the only one coming to see Chad then, bro. There was 2 names you talking about, Sean Peterson and Greg Britton, bro. You was the only motherfucker in this conversation who coming to see Chad boy play.
And I'm going to help y'all. Chad was a good basketball player, but Chad was overrated. And here's why Chad was overrated. If you took Sean off of any one of the teams that Chad was on by himself, you wouldn't even know he was a basketball player. When you got Greg and Sean handling the ball and Greg creating the devil team, and you get wide open shots, I can name you 10 guys around here that shoot the ball better than Sean.
That's a good point.
Chad was a beneficiary of having 2 great players on the team with him. Not just 2, because PJ was a monster too in high school. I'm saying that team right there. And it was one other, and it was
no, don't bring Tim in
on the team.
But it was another kid on the team, bro.
Right, yeah. It was another kid on their team that did all the dirty work. Hustled, go. Knock everybody. Josh Reed. So Chad was a beneficiary. Yeah.
For a basketball fan, bro, you can't. You said Mark Dore was playing. These are the guys you was going to watch play, bro. So Sean, Sean clearly, bro, top 5 players out of Mark Dore, dog.
Yeah, no. Somebody trying to take Sean off the list? DC. They question Sean stats, bro. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna say this
Sean high school stats, bro. He's got the middle player of the year in all states.
But not just player of the year. What Sean was able to accomplish, nobody did it. Like that. You can't. Yeah, and not just okay. We talking about high school. Sean was Sean's the reason. Because if you take Sean off that championship team, they don't win. I don't care who. Right. With Greg, you don't win without Sean because Sean made Scott Williams look like a genius.
Yeah.
And when you watch him in the state championship game, the team that they played against was 10 times better than them. This is real. The team that Reebok team, in fact, the team before that with Darius Houghton on it, them teams was 10 times better than Sean and them. Sean and them won them games because Sean was a better mind of basketball player than any of those guys. They tried to beat them with their legs, and Sean beat them with basketball skill set, which made it easy for Greg and them. Greg wasn't there yet mentally. Greg was just a big brute.
Yeah.
Sean was the key and the captain of that ship.
Yeah.
Corey, Sean, bro, you can't watch him.
And Corey, we just had that discussion.
Did the same thing. He did. Hey, he went to JUCO, did the same thing. He went to Georgia Southern and did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then got picked up by an NBA team and just didn't make that final cut. But everybody can't say that they did that. Like you can't simulate that. Sean was a monster, man. Sean was a monster. And
bro, high school, Sean was hands down, bro. Hands down. No, listen. Hands down, bro. Sean was top 3 point guards in the state of Florida his senior year, dog.
I agree. And if he was in top 3, he probably was number 1.
That's new information from me, though. That's what's up. How is that new? But I'm telling you, this man was a starting point guard on the number 1 AAU team in the state of Florida, bro. Right. How could that be new? Needed tonight. All that's new. But, you didn't know Sean was on the number 1 AAU state team and started at point guard with Casey Sanders. Who is that? Duke. All these guys. And those guys Sean played on this team, bro.
Yeah, and he beat. And those are the teams, high school teams that he. But those are the high school teams.
Brad,
that he
you knew that, Brad?
Yeah, I mean they told me that like not too long ago, but I already knew Sean. Like college Sean, you can't even deny it. So I'm pushing him there anyway.
Now, if we do overall careers, yeah, Sean in there. I would just talk about high school.
No, but if you just go over high
game don't determine 8 points a game don't determine.
It don't determine, dog. It determine, dog. That's not an argument there, dog.
That's
if I'm not.
I think that's.
If I'm not mistaken, Sean was the number 1 point guard in the state of Florida his senior year. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because the class that Mount Dora is in and the team that they beat. So you had a guy with a white kid. If I'm not mistaken, he scored a bunch of points. That white kid was probably the best scorer at the point guard spot, but Sean was the absolute best. That's how he ended up where he ended up there.
You talking about Teddy? Teddy Dupay was the number 1 point guard, bro. He was the number 1 point guard.
He was the number 1 because of his point. He wasn't the number 1 because of his play. Teddy Dupay was scoring 70 points in games. Yeah. That's because, once again, he was in a situation where all he did was shot the basketball.
Right.
I mean, like, again, with that argument, I only have one argument of those guys that played and how they played basketball in high school. When I'm looking at their games and what I saw, I just said, for me, Marcus would start over any point guard. Marcus not coming off the bench on any team that had a point guard in those years. Yeah, Don't count my senior year, but I'm talking about the guy that I played with. Sean doesn't start on that team over Marcus. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But remember,
I know Scott would have not started Sean over Marcus. I know Scott would have not started Sean over Marcus, bro.
But I tell you what Scott would have did. He would have found a way for both of them to be on the floor. Because nobody played a true point guard unless you had one back then. Bill was a point guard, but Bill wasn't a true point guard. He didn't play the point guard because he was their best offensive point guard.
Shaka was a true point guard for us, bro. Shaka was a true point guard for us, bro.
I remember Shaka. No,
Sean was way better than Shaka because Sean had bigger size. He had a higher basketball IQ. But I'm saying true point guard, bro. Shaka averaged them to 9 to 10 assists a game. Ain't nobody in the county did that shit in Mount Dora, out of Mount Dora. And Sean did average 9 to 10 assists a game in a year. You know what I'm saying? So we had 2 point guards.
Right.
But Marcus was a totally different guy that would have started, bro. He would have started. And Sean wouldn't have started over Neil Robert. Not saying Sean wouldn't have played. He would have been a definite plus, bro.
You talking about their senior year? Are we talking about Sean's senior year?
Yeah, I'll tell you any year. Marcus would have started at point guard, bro. Scott would have coached that team, bro. Scott would have not started. Marcus would have started at point guard, bro. It ain't taking nothing from Sean, dog. No, bro. Sean played the point. No, bro. How he would have played the 2? Somebody, if Sean senior year?
Yeah.
Marcus would have played the 2 then. Because Marcus did 20 25 a game.
And that might have happened.
But I'm telling you,
he would have definitely
Marcus would have started.
He wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won.
Listen.
He would have won.
What I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you got me, Robert, Marcus, and Sean, us four, and on the high school team, bro, who are you going to
start? You're going to start.
Hold on, at y'all
Sean Peterson.
Yes,
in high school.
And
we're talking high school.
Yes. Yeah, you would have been the 2.
Yeah,
and Sean would have been my point guard. That's
so you're not going to start Robert? So Robert not going to start? You saying Robert's not going to start?
No, yeah. I'll tell you what I would have stuck Robert.
Brad, you can't say that, Brad. You never seen Marcus. You never seen Marcus, bro.
I know that.
Say who would you start?
You know what? Hey, listen. You know who Robert would have started over? Chad Boyd. Because Robert could shoot.
No, we're not talking about. We're talking about the 4 players he named, though.
So it would have been easy to put Robert at the 2.
We're talking about the 4 players he named, though. We're talking about the players that he named. We're talking about
Sean would have been my starting point guard.
We're talking about Corey, Marcus, and Sean, right? And Robert. Corey, Marcus, Sean, and Robert. Right?
Yeah.
And Robert.
Okay, my 1, 2, and 3 would have been Bull. I mean, we call them Bull. Marcus, Corey, and Robert. That'd have been
That ain't taking nothing from what Sean is, dog. We're talking about how good.
Yeah, they ain't taking nothing from Sean. That's just like saying we can take.
And I think all of them
was, bro. Hey, not Black. Let me ask you this, not Black. If I was on that 98 team and I played point guard my senior year, averaging 21.6 points, 22 and 7 assists, do you start Sean over me at point guard?
Well, I'm telling you what would have happened. Y'all wouldn't have won.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have won. Shit, you serious, man?
No.
How we wouldn't have won?
No, you wouldn't.
How we wouldn't have won, bro?
Because your mentality.
We won 21 games with just me, bro. Same mentality, bro. I made everybody on my team look good, dog, including Chad.
But this what I'm trying to tell you. You had a how do I change? You had a Jed Bedford mentality, right? Jed Bedford as a starting point guard on a team does not equal a Kevin Arnold or a Sean Peterson on a team. It's a different. Like Bill, the reason Bill and them was so good at that time because they had Baker's McCoy. And here's what Baker did for them. Baker did what a normal point guard would do. Why Bill could score the point. You take Baker off that Houston team, Bill was still good. That team wasn't as good. You got to have somebody on your team that makes the team go, man.
So you're literally telling me that if I was the point guard on that Montdor 98 team, they don't win state. That's an insult, bro. I don't know. Defense. There's not one person on that team that played better defense than me. There's not one person on that team that could score like me outside of Josh Lee played better defense than me. Man, you tripping, man. You was tripping, bro. Josh Lee played hard on defense, man. He might not have played it better than you on the ball, but Josh Lee was one of the best defenders in the area.
Hold on.
What you think I was every year in Lake County, bro?
But there's no way you could have did that against the type of team that you could have did everything by yourself.
Hold on.
This same Jed guy
the same
25 points on Sean over there in the Montdor tournament. Ask Bill though. I guarded that nigga and he didn't score not 1 point. Jed. He hit Sean about 25 and they got in a fight. Jed.
Jed
couldn't score a point on me.
That was Sean Nemesis right there around here.
He couldn't score a point on me. He couldn't score one point on me.
What I'm saying, Corey, you had to do a lot of stuff by yourself, and you took that responsibility. Sean didn't do that. It's a different mentality.
Just imagine if I had Greg, bro. Like y'all saying that me playing on that team, they wouldn't have won state. That is crazy.
I didn't say that. I didn't say they wouldn't have won. I just think the team would have been different. I can't say they wouldn't have won now. I can't say they would have won because the team they played against, the team that they played against, ain't even have no really. They had a decent guard, but they was 6'7", 7 foot, 7'8", 7. I mean, Greg was Greg had his hands full against all the boys that went pro.
Let's not take that from Sean. Now we know Sean is the best point guard ever come out of Montdor. Not taking an argument right there.
But here's what also made Sean them good.
I do agree with that.
Sean them good. But here's what made them good. They didn't just play together during high school. That same team played AAU together for years. That same group of kids. So they had some chemistry that you couldn't. Sean wasn't no great coach. Yeah, Sean played with Greg.
Whoa. Bro, Scott is hands down one of the best coaches that ever come out of Lake County, bro.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm saying. All of that credit. I can't believe you saying that.
if Scott Williams don't coach that team, bro, they don't make it to state, bro.
They don't make the second round.
They don't make the state. They struggle in district, bro.
They don't make the second round.
Scott Williams, the best coach to ever come out of Lake County, to me, period, dog. Scott Williams, the best coach to come out of Lake County, period.
Mark, I'm gonna go back.
We've seen better coaches.
Marcus,
I've seen better coaches.
I ain't seen no better.
Marcus,
I ain't seen no better coach than Scott.
Not black. I'm gonna go back to what you said about Josh Reed. Like he played defense, right?
Yeah.
Now I just asked Sean Peterson the same question. We're going back and forth on whether Chad Boyd should be on the list. He said, I asked him, if you take Josh Reed off that team, do y'all win? He said, you take any of us off that team. My point is, Mount Dora went 63-6 in 2 years, right? I don't think nobody's ever made that run. Nobody ever went for 20 on them. Nobody scored more than 20 points on them. No one individual went in on them. So my thing is, if you're calling Josh Reed a defensive stopper, how can you say when nobody ever scored 20 points on y'all? It was team defense. It was a system.
No, but I'm gonna tell you what Scott used to do with Josh. If another team had a really good player, somebody got to take the responsibility of sacrificing everything and making it
taking responsibility.
That was
Josh mentally could take players out their game. Josh was great.
Right.
And Ladarius Holden had 25, so don't believe that. Ladarius Holden had 25.
That's what I'm saying. But he shot the ball 25 times.
And Josh Reed was the one
he took 40 shots though.
Yeah,
he took 20 shots.
He ran out of gas. There's always got time.
Listen to this though, bro. I ain't toot my horn on something with defensively, bro. Bro, ask Bill and all them, bro. We don't play on all levels, bro.
Nah, you could lock up. You could lock up. I saw that.
Ain't no could, bro. Ain't none of them guys on the same level playing defense like that, bro.
Your mentality.
No, I'm talking about on every level, though, dog. So that's what I'm saying. So defensively, bro, you cannot mention, bro. I don't know too many guys down there that you can mention other than like Bill, bro. When you say defensively, bro, that take the pride in playing defense.
Stop that now, because Bill ain't playing no defense. Like, hold on, stop, man.
Bill played defense, bro.
No, he did not. No, he did not. No, man,
you crazy, man.
Man, Bill ain't playing no goddamn defense. Hey, listen, Corey. I love Bill to death. Bill ain't playing no defense, and he never had to, ever. That's what Bakerson was for. No, sir. That's what Bakerson did.
Listen. I don't sat on the court playing ball with this guy, man.
I played
I'm talking about from years on. I'm just going out of high school now, Black. I'm talking about just playing pickup ball or playing in tournaments for money, bro. You put me and this guy on the same court playing defense, bro, you would not win no games, bro.
What I'm telling you,
that guy didn't play defense.
But here's what I'm telling you. Every great player can play defense when they want to. Don't give Bill the defensive player credit, because that won't just be it, man. That was not Bill's thing. He played D when he wanted to. That don't make you no defensive player. Defensive players play defense every possession. Where you be getting these stats from, man? Where you getting stats from?
That man led the county in steals, man. Bill led the county in steals, bro.
Who told you? I bet you,
man. What you mean?
Listen, man.
On that, dog. We're gonna put them arguments up,
but hold on, stop. If we pull up statistics and talk about the best defensive player in the county during that era, you ask Bill who was the best defensive player in the county during that era, and he'll tell you. It definitely wasn't Bill.
Nah, no stats, because stats don't matter. Remember, don't put up no stats. Stats don't matter.
But we're not talking. But this don't discredit Bill's talent. But Bill was not a defensive guy, and most great players don't play defense. They don't.
Right.
Bill, and you name them. LeBron team. No, sir. Bates was the best defensive player on that team.
No way.
Bates was the best defensive player on that team. You know why? Because Bates was the fastest, quickest.
My door about an hour, bro.
You got to finish my door first. So who's the top 5, man? And y'all need to stick to it.
I got Sean Peters in there, because
I got Greg.
Remember, so Sean is in there, most definitely.
I got Greg.
Okay.
I got Greg, Tuma, Sears, Peterson, and Harris.
I got Sean, me, Robert, Greg, and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Sears at number 6.
I got Corey, Greg, Sean, Motto, and Aaron Robb.
Who is Air Rob?
Robert Harris. Robert Harris.
Robert Harris.
Robert Harris.
Oh, Rob. Okay.
I got the same list as
What year did Mike Loman graduate from?
Who
no, he was APK, I think, didn't he?
Who that?
Mike Loman Parker.
Mike
He
Loman
was APK.
Yeah, Mike Logan went to Parker.
Yeah, he went to Parker.
Oh, okay.
So we going to
I
Leesburg
thought
now?
Mike went to
I mean,
Mount
do we?
Dora.
Are we
we go
really
to
discussing?
Leesburg.
We ain't
We go to
discussing.
Leesburg.
We ain't discussing Umatilla, man.
No.
No.
I mean, the only cat,
we were short on the
the only cat that come out of Umatilla that was worth even mentioning was Vandal.
No, not just Vandal. Jamal. I mean, what's his name? Jamal. What's the Maples? That Maple was probably besides Vandal. Maple was probably the next best basketball player to come from Umatilla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw
Gerard Maple.
And Vandal Mark Dora. Vandal, the only player I know in my year, Umatilla was trash. Grade A trash.
Vandal was a monk. Vandal was a monk.
I had Vandal on my list, man, but I got kicked out.
I don't know what. That's somebody that ain't seen Vandal play, man.
Vandal senior year, he led the county in scoring. He was dominant for that senior year. I don't know what he did his junior year.
Oh, wow.
Because I was in 8th grade.
Vandal might have led the state of Florida in scoring one year.
I'm telling you, man.
That was that senior year.
One man show, one man wrecking crew.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what?
Vandal's the only guy who ever shoot the ball from half court.
Vandal
Let's get Leesburg to be hard.
Vandal didn't play his whole senior year. Y'all remember that, right?
Let's get to the Berkeley game.
Michael Jordan come on there.
Michael Jordan come on at 9, right?
So, Leesburg, listen, Leesburg is easy, man. Leesburg is an easy do. Leesburg is easy.
We're gonna
we
let you
talking
lead
about
this.
the cutoff year.
We're gonna let you lead the
The
Leesburg.
cutoff year that y'all gave was 90, right? In the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you cutting off in the 90s, in the 90 era, the best player to probably play in the 90s was Courtney Wilson, high school wise.
Damn, I forgot.
And
About,
somewhat college.
Top 5.
damn, I forgot. About,
Courtney Wilson.
I forgot about Courtney.
Courtney Wilson.
I
think Courtney Wilson top 5 was somebody.
No, Courtney played in Leesburg. Yeah, Courtney played in Leesburg.
Courtney Wilson played in Leesburg.
Courtney's top 5 players. Courtney's top 5.
Courtney said it's easy. Courtney was top. Courtney came out with Courtney. Courtney killed them guys. They might not want to give the information, but Courtney was the most athletic guard to probably ever play in the county.
Courtney was smooth.
The most athletic guard.
He was smooth as hell.
But he was freakishly athletic and could shoot. Had one of the best pull-up jump shots you ever want to see. And he did the same thing in college, just like the rest of them guys. And he was first team everything. Yeah, he went to a 4-year school. So he went to school with one of them guys, one of them other guys. But
Man, Courtney, all of us, I mean, we all went to PACC.
Right. So Courtney would be on that top 5. Ryan Callahan for sure.
I didn't think so because of all those guys that's there now. That's
Right.
I didn't think you would name Courtney. I would name Courtney, but I would say no just because you got all these guys out on that list. Now you put all them other guys on that list, bro.
Because the criteria say all state, all county. I'm scratching that. I'm going for pure talent. I'm talking about talent.
That's what I'm talking about.
Courtney Wilson would be on. Courtney, we scratched that criteria trap. Courtney Wilson would be. We just talking about Legion. Courtney Wilson would be on that list because Courtney had all those stats. Courtney was first team everything. He met the criteria. People just don't remember.
He was on the sorry team.
Courtney, that's right. He was after me, and he was the guy that came in and did. He was probably averaged 25, 30 points a game. Nobody knew about him, but he went top. He could have went D1. He just didn't have the grades. He was great. He was super athletic. Courtney, then Ryan. The only reason I said no to Courtney because I thought you was gonna hype up these younger guys that I don't know nothing about. No, I'm gonna get to them. I'm gonna keep it real. Them dudes are not. That's not. We're not talking about talent. Only one of them guys was super talented.
Thank you.
And that's the one I'll get to. But Courtney, Ryan Callahan. This ain't no criteria stuff. This is talent.
Yeah.
Courtney, Ryan Callahan.
Totally agree, Ryan.
Then after Ryan, the next who would be an automatic on that list for me would be Joe Tooley. Because Joe Tooley
over Marlon?
No. Marlon gonna be on the list. But I'm talking about basketball players. I ain't talking about height. I ain't talking about none of that other stuff. I'm naming basketball players. Joe Tooley to me is probably the best complete point guard to ever play in a Lake County uniform, who mentally he had everything that Sean had. He had everything that Corey had. He had everything that Joe had. He had all of those. Jed. He had all of that stuff mixed in one, and he was 6'5". You don't get that. In fact, Florida State tried to.
Wait, Joe Tooley wasn't no 6'5"?
Joe Tooley is 6'5".
I played against Joe Tooley. He's not no 6'5".
Derek, you talking about somebody that raised? You talking about somebody that raised this man though, Derek? You can't argue with that.
Statistically, they got Joe listed at 6'5". Okay, if you want to say Joe 6'4", but Joe Tooley is tall and got taller as he got older.
Oh, that's okay.
Joe's definitely.
I played him the year after he won a state, I think, at the Montreal High School.
Who am I talking?
Wesley had an open gym.
That's Derek.
DC.
DC.
When I came home, I played against Tooley up at Montreal High School.
Listen, Derek. Joe Tooley had the best chance. Listen, Joe Tooley had the best chance to be a pro. Out of all the point guards that we talked about. And this is Leonard Hamilton saying, I talked to Leonard Hamilton. If Joe Tooley would have did what he's supposed to do and went to Florida State, he'd have been a pro because he could do that. But he just didn't have. He had that street mentality. So Joe Tooley would be on that list.
6'2".
No, sir, he's taller than that. My son's 6'2", 6'3". Joe Tooley's taller than my son. People don't think my son that tall unless you see Bradley. You see my son all the time. My son is taller than people think he is. So Joe Tooley would be on that list. Marlon Bryant would be on that list.
Wait, so Jed don't be the list there, huh?
Hold on. So you got Courtney. You got Courtney Wilson. You got Ryan Callahan. You got Marlon Bryant. Joe Tooley. The next person to go on that list will be Jed Bedford.
Over Francis.
So Jed better than the boy that's going to Auburn right now.
Jed is
better than this kid that's going to go to Auburn. Yeah.
If we talking about basketball, if we talking about basketball as a player, yes. If we talking about size,
no, Black. Oh no. See that why I was. That's what that's. See, listen, man. That's the argument I was having. Saying talking basketball about Booker, bro. Y'all got
but listen, man, Jed. But you got to think what Jed did, and I'm gonna give you a story. Here's what was different with Jed. Keon is 6'4", maybe 6'5", 6'4", 6 something.
6'4".
Jed was 5. Jed was 5 something. 5 something.
Maybe 5'10".
Jed, if he was 5'10".
Yeah.
But Jed would have been, and this gonna sound crazy. Jed would have been one of the small guys in the lower level NBA if he don't die. And this is a story. And this ain't no.
I don't think everything sounding crazy.
Listen to me, Brad. I'm listening. Hold on, listen to me, Brad. This ain't no rumor. I'm talking to an agent. I'm telling you, I'm sitting in the stands. The man hit 12 threes in one college game. Pull that up.
Oh, wow.
12 threes right there at Disney. He was an unbelievable shooter at that small spot, and Jed played defense too. Now, Keon has the upside. That's a difference. Talent, upside. Keon 6'4", could play the 2 guard. But you take Keon and you replace him with Jed, it's different. Keon taller, more athletic, but Jed could jump and dunk too at that height. So I'm putting Jed on the list because what Jed did, he did it to everybody. Keon getting better. Keon like Reggie Burnett to me. Keon getting better as he grows. Jed was Jed in his senior year in high school, man. So what Jed did at the JUCO, Gulf Coast, he was killing. When Jed went, when we played summer league anywhere in the gym, Sean Peterson will tell you, Jed was that guy. He knew every time he stepped in the gym with him, he was going to have to come get it. And Jed was that guy.
I watched that. I watched that live in the middle school gym when they fought. I watched that.
Yeah, who locked him up, Brad? And who locked him up, Brad? And who locked him up?
Yeah,
I got that part though, right? We can get Bill Perry on the phone.
I know,
right
but
now
the fight
kind of locked him up.
Yeah,
the fight ain't bro. The fight ain't do nothing like that, dog. You must say pay attention. That nigga didn't score another point. And I'm gonna tell you, that was hey, listen. If I'm not mistaken, that wasn't the last time them two got in a fight. If I'm not mistaken, they fought at the Boys and Girls Club too over the same foolishness. But they used to get into fight with everybody. No, I think Jed the best shooter. Jed the best shooter I've ever seen out of Lake County. Jed's hands down the best. And I'm talking about.
Wait, he better. He's better than Jimmy.
Yeah.
DC.
No.
Jed is the best shooter. Listen.
DC, and Jed led NCAA Division II with 135 3-pointers, and he was averaging 21.
Come on, man.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you let me tell you what's crazy about that, right? And it don't matter what type of shot. See, some people set shooters, some people jump shooters, some people mid-range, some people whatever.
Right.
Boy, Jed ain't have no. And if the high school coach would have allowed Jed to score the basketball, he probably would have led this area in scoring. But he didn't have that opportunity to.
I believe it because Mike can shoot like that. Mike can shoot like that, so I believe everything.
Yeah, I believe. But see, that goes back to what we were saying about a father figure. Like Jed's dad probably was one of the best scorers I ever seen in pickup. I don't know how he played in high school, but can man bitch stop his daddy? So he had a basketball. Yeah, you know, that Ike was his uncle. That whole family was good in basketball, from 6'9" to Ike to all of them. His daddy should have been a pro if his head was together. But your point was on what you said about Jed compared to that one kid. That's what Bradley and DC don't understand about Marcus, bro. And only me and Ted, like that's how good Marcus was, bro. He just was small, and he didn't want to go to a small school because he was smart as hell. Nigga wanted to be a doctor, so he didn't want to go to school just to go to any school. Like he had these small offers. He was like, "Nah, I'm going to Florida State because I want to be a doctor."
That dude is a doctor.
Second grade, he had the second highest grade.
Yeah, he a doctor up in Utah right now.
And then the kid we talking about, Kadre, and then y'all got to think, Keon played at Leesburg 2 years. We're talking about the kid Kadreas, right? When Keon played on that team, Kadreas is the one that won all the accolades. It wasn't Keon. Keon wasn't even the best player as a whole on that team. It was that's what I was trying to tell about DC. That's what I was saying with DC with and even with Dan. But like if you didn't like what you just said was the 2 years that your boy played with this guy was putting up the numbers. So you weren't in the gym watching him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if D'Amato only had, like, one solid year, I can't make an argument for a one solid year guy. I can't. But Keon had good going to the gym and watching him. No, but Keon was let me change that. Keon was their best player. He just wasn't the reason they won because he wasn't mature yet. Everybody you name, bro, the county was talking about them and went to go see them play. So that's when I say best player, bro. When you're getting named and for more than 1 year, they jumped in the gym and they was like, man, shit, I'm gonna go see that high jump for that nigga Courtney. That nigga dunk over 3 people. And you went over to Leesburg to just go watch his nigga and see if he's gonna do that. Or you went to go see Ryan. This is more than 1 year. 1 year so let me ask you this question. Superstars, bro. So let me see if y'all agree on this. Who was the most exciting player to ever play in Lake County and the most recognized high school player to ever play in Lake County?
Jermaine Taylor.
I don't know. Exciting.
No.
Man, I gotta throw Greg name in the hat.
No.
I gotta throw. I'm tied between Greg and Marlon Bryant. Yeah, I'm at the top. Greg and Marlon.
Listen, Marlon Bryant averaged 70-something. In fact, his senior year, if I'm not mistaken, Marlon had 170-something dunks. Marlon was the only reason Marlon wasn't a McDonald's,
you saying exciting. Okay, I got you.
The only reason Marlon Bryant didn't play in the McDonald's All-American game, and this is a story that I tell people because they don't really know the story, is because Marlon Bryant they called it. They sent him his jersey. The weekend they have people don't know this. My son, we just went through this. Before the McDonald's All-American game, they have a week that they bring all the players up, and they put them through some NBA stuff. If you don't go that week, they replace you. Marlon didn't go that week because the week he was supposed to go, his father died. His biological dad died. So he couldn't go that weekend. And because he couldn't go, they sent him all the stuff, the shoes, everything.
He was excluded from the game. They replaced him because he couldn't be at that initial workout. This the other thing. He went to South Florida, but he could have went to Cincinnati with Bob Huggins and Tony Bobby and them. They was recruiting. Marlon he won 3 national AAU championships. He was on the same AAU team with Amari Stoudemire, Yusef Baker, and all those guys with Team Nike Florida. Like, Marlon was the guy. Like, they call Marlon, if you talk to Amari, because Amari is part of what my son is, Amari, they call MJ Grasshopper. Amari Stoudemire will tell you, MJ was the most athletic high school player he ever played with. MJ was probably that guy.
My only hiccup.
MJ came out in 2002 then. He came out in 2002? MJ came out in 2002 then.
I don't remember what year. I don't think so.
It was earlier than that because Wesley and Jimmy came out in 03.
If he was with Stoudemire, that's 2002, bro.
I think it's 01.
No, 01.
When I was in high school.
You know who?
Amar was Mr. Florida in 2002 because I know Rashad Anderson was on in that list. So Amar had to come out in 2002.
It might have been 2002.
Yeah.
Okay. I know he was a year behind. He was a year behind Jed and Jed and Jason.
Yeah.
He was a year behind Jed and Jason.
Hey man.
And then if we talk about other players to put on that list, you got BK, you got Fat. There's a lot of other good players. But
those are my two favorites, BK and Fat. Those are my two favorites.
Hands down,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two favorite players.
And they were hard nosed players.
That list was all messed up then, bro. That list was based off of stuff that it shouldn't have been based off of.
It was based off the criteria.
Yeah. You can't. I don't like when you base stuff off of criteria. I personally just don't like when you just base it off that because, again, if your team wins state, you just said Chad Moore was third all-state and player of the year because Mark Doyle won state. You know what I'm saying? And y'all saying Chad Moore wasn't that good.
MJ finished 2001, bro.
Now, DC, right. let me ask this question, man. We're running on, we're an hour and 50 minutes now. But, DC, let me ask you this. There was a lot of discussion with those younger guys that's thinking they should have been on this list instead of somebody else, right? Now, those 7, 8 guys that were on that Eustis team when they made their 2 runs to the Final Four, none of them names have been mentioned. None of them names have been mentioned.
Because they was based on numbers. I was looking at numbers. I was wrong.
But DC, it's guys now. I can name you guys that didn't even finish high school that would walk the dog on some of these guys we named on the list. So you can't look at it as far as, okay, man, if you ain't had no accolades coming out of high school, then you shouldn't be on the list. Because there's some guys, man, that can ball, man.
I asked Brad. I was like, Courtney would have gave you 20 something. Brad was the first thing he said, hell no. So hell no. Like, okay, exactly. So Courtney Keith. You asked why Courtney went on the list.
Courtney Keith.
No, but I was talking about market. Now I take back my comment with that on because I didn't really think about everything. Like Joe is, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think about Reggie like that. I had to go back and think. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was wrong with that. But
don't get me wrong. Courtney Keith is one of the top 5 athletes to come out of Lake County. Hands down. But
I agree with that.
But to put him in a box and say he one of the best point guards over 30 years, I can't do that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I was. Yeah. Yeah. Because here's who you put him in. Yeah.
Well, you put him in the situation because, to be honest with you, who had a better basketball career than him playing basketball was Joe Burnett. And he wasn't a basketball player.
And he wasn't a basketball player. But you know, Joe
when we mentioned that, it was an argument.
But Joe had all the accolades, though. Joe got him in football and basketball.
Right, and if you remember this,
Joe
right?
Name one time on this, we didn't mention Joe name one time on this conversation either.
Correct.
And I'm gonna tell you what. And I'm gonna tell you what they used to do back in the day. But here's what the sports writers used to do back in the day. It's like Oran Singleton. I saw y'all talking about football players and all that stuff.
That's next.
Nobody was a better running back than Oran. Nobody was a better running back than Oran, right? But I always, and when we talking about statistically, Oran was the best running back in the state of Florida during his high school career. That's in writing. It wasn't, and that doesn't mean him and Baker wasn't on the same wavelength, but Oran was the best running back in high school football his last 3 years playing high school football. But he played basketball, right? he was a terrible basketball player. But because he was fast, ran around in the hustle, he got awards for playing basketball, and he wasn't even a basketball player. The statistics in this area, just like Kadres Graham. Kadres Graham did something nobody's done at Leesburg. He's won 2 state championships as the point guard. He deserves his credit for that. But when we start talking about his skill set and him being a basketball player, see, here's when you find out where you are as a basketball player. Once you leave high school, what you do after that is real life.
Yes, sir.
That's real basketball life. High school, you can be a mediocre high school player and get away with murder and be on a team where your coach lets you score. Once you're behind, get to college, you find out just how good of a basketball player you are. Just how good you are.
And see, that's
just what about college. College don't tell nothing about you.
You're right. No, we make that argument. A lot of these guys that was put on that list ain't do shit in college.
They ain't do nothing.
And college, and like, for instance, I hate to hear guys say they was the best ever, right? I'm sorry. Even though we just had this conversation, the best players from Lake and Sumter County, regardless of high school statistics or none of that, they played in the pros, man. Like, and this is why I say they were the best. And this is why I say they was the best. Even though each one of us was good, you was good at a time in your life, you wasn't mentally good enough to be a pro. I don't care. And you can come up with every excuse you got. Well, man, during this time I didn't have this. Or man, then during this time they didn't let me do this. The guy, Saul Jones, could have quit playing basketball a long time ago. He didn't. He went through the same thing Greg went through. He went through the same thing Corey you went through. He went through the same thing Sean went through. And he made it to the pinnacle. Jermaine Taylor went through all the same. Everybody had the same opportunity. They went through the same phase. They went to college. They got a chance to go do so-and-so. The best players from Lake and Sumter County should be the guys that play professional or graduated college with a degree, and they're using their degree, like you are, Corey, down there in Lakeland, to change the world, change your environment. You benefited from going to college playing basketball. Stop talking about the guys that did not go to college and do nothing. Me personally, I would take everybody that wasted their talent, because that's a waste of energy, waste of talent. It means absolutely nothing.
Overall list, then that's way different than what we just did.
Yeah.
But we just did a list based off of what guys were. That's great. In high school, when you start publicizing these guys, it's just like I looked at all the lists from around the state of Florida when guys put their top 5 up. 9 times out of 10, everybody on their list played in the pros. Everybody. They went, and somebody said, well, they went on this criteria. No, they didn't. What they did was they took a list of the last 5 top pros that they had and put on that list. And we don't even, and here's what's disappointing to me. Because we glorify a guy for being good in high school, a lot of kids don't make it to the pros. We got to stop doing that. Man, stop giving, we retired jerseys for guys because they did good in high school. Who does that? You don't retire your jersey because he was a good high school player. You retire a guy jersey because he graduated from college or went to the pros and dominated in the pros. Like the best football player from Lake and Sumter County, from Lake County right now, the best football player to ever come from Lake County to me is Danny Trevathan.
It's who?
It's a no-brainer. Danny Trevathan.
Yeah. Okay.
Danny Trevathan. And we be having these discussions, and guys be talking about how good they were. One thing I know about the pros don't care nothing about where you come from, how small you are, none of that. If you good enough, they're going to take you. So there's no excuse for it. No excuse. So I agree with the list we just created with guys talent-wise.
I almost wrote a list about that saying, like, we got to make a list about what happened to high school. And I meant to call Ted. Here's what I told Sean I was working on. What I'm doing with when me and Sean talked about this after this list stuff came out. I run the sports site. I'm trying to get a guy. We're going to do a visual thing where I'm going to interview each and every one of y'all that played. Corey, you're going to be used. Your name's on the list. I'm going to get with Bill. I want these guys to do just like the drug dealers do. You screwed up. Just be real. Bill don't have a state championship because Bill did something stupid. He had talent. Bill could have went to college. When I was in college, right, my college coach used to send me back to Lake County and beg Bill to come play JUCO with me. Begging. Listen, used to love it, beg and get Bill Perry to come. Bill had the chance. He didn't use that talent. So now, to me, because I love Bill, because Bill didn't capitalize off of his ability, because Greg Britton didn't capitalize off his ability,
it makes that younger generation start going, oh, all I gotta do is be good in high school. I got a kid going through it right now. Like my son, like Cadreas. He grew up with Cadreas, the kid from Leesburg. The kid is really good. But he come from a really crazy environment, right? That's okay with him either being good or with him being a street thug. It don't matter. Whichever decision he takes, you saw how aggressive his cousin was when we was talking about this list. He was already ready to tell you, well, better about this guy. That's the mentality that those kids have. And so I have to stay in his ear constantly. He done been shot since he went to college. Got shot. Right. I'm trying to explain to him, as far as he go, is what's going to do. The reason Sean Peterson went as far as he went is because Corey went as far as Corey went. The reason, Brad, you went as far as you went is because Sean and Corey went as far as they went. It's like Wesley Green is as good as he was, and Jimmy kind of fed off of that because him and Wesley grew up together because of what Big Wesley did. So for us to really help our Lakers, because we got the talent, but we don't got the pros. The reason we don't have the pros because guys, Corey, you should have been a pro. You gave up too soon. I'm gonna tell you, Ryan Callahan could have been a freaking pro right out of JUCO. He killed Sean Marion in a JUCO state championship, I'm telling you, Ryan Callahan had one of the best chances of being Duke. Carolina was trying to get this boy from Pasco, man, and he had a baby and decided to go work for UPS and just quit. It had nothing to do with no grade, no nothing. He had a baby and he just walked. He quit. And me and him argued every day. Courtney Wilson could have went overseas. He was at a JUCO. I mean, he was at a 4-year school up in Savannah, I think with Savannah State. He was killing at Savannah. Wow. He walked away from it. Reggie Burnett, God bless the dead, man. I'll tell y'all, this conversation almost made me cry. Reggie was at Roger, right? Reggie was the leading scorer in college conference in basketball, a All-American with 1 year to go. They picked up a kid that came out of jail. He got out of jail, transferred to the school. That kid was really good. Reggie couldn't handle being second fiddle, and he was used to people pulling on his meat sack. He came home. He just quit.
Came home.
Just quit.
Yeah,
I took him to some ABA workout. The coaches said, we'll take him in a heartbeat, but we won't take him until he finished school. He wouldn't do it. In JUCO, him and Keith Brookenbrawl were the two leading JUCO scorers in the country. Reggie was averaging 40 points a game. Listen, Reggie was averaging 40 points a game for a whole span of over a month and a half of JUCO basketball, where him and Keith Brookenbrawl was going back and forth for who was the leading scorer. Keith would score 50, Reggie was scored 50.
That's crazy.
Keith would score 39, Reggie would score 28. They was going back and forth. Reggie had put himself in a situation where he was an easy overseas. Oh, now with this G League, D League crap, he could easily be on one of these freaking teams, man.
Overseas, off rip.
Off the rip. Like, people don't realize Marlon played 10 years overseas. People don't even realize that.
Hey, I'm still.
Listen, T.J. Foster was a terrible high school player. One of the leading three-point shooters in college basketball. Played 3 years overseas. Nobody don't know nothing about that. Like, you got, and so that's what we promoting over here. I ain't promoting who was good and who wasn't. I'm doing this because this was the format. But the reality is, they got to start push these kids somewhere bigger. Keith, I told Courtney Keith, if you were so good in football and sports, why the freak all you did was play at BCC? Like, and Courtney's a beast.
Yeah.
But there's a reason you ain't a pro. And he's tried. He's tried Arena League. He's tried semi-pro. He's tried all of that. There's a limitation in that. There's something in there which you'll get, just like Jermaine Taylor. There's something with Jermaine's game is why Jermaine couldn't stay a pro. I know what that is with Jermaine. Jermaine don't like to play no defense, and he don't like to run no offense.
Right. And Jermaine got caught up in a bad situation, bro. He got caught up in a situation where they had a lockout. Like, he didn't leave. He was after money. And I sat and talked with Jermaine. Jermaine could have been there. Me and Tracy just had a conversation 2 days ago about Jermaine. And Jermaine took himself out of the league and went overseas, and he didn't want to go back because the money was so good. So it was like, why
he got hurt too, though.
Yeah, he get hurt every 2 or 3 years, yeah.
But, that money in China, I think he went over to China. When that lockout happened, bro, it was millions over in China.
Hold on. Listen, Corey. Listen, I want you to think about something. don't no player turn away from the NBA. And Jermaine didn't eliminate himself from the NBA. The NBA eliminated Jermaine. Come on now, let's be honest. And
But they had that
Jermaine
lockout. Remember, they had that lockout, bro.
But you got to think, he came back and played after that. He played on some NBA teams after that.
Yeah,
In fact, he was on the Bulls after that.
He had them injuries. And he played with the Kings. He played with Sacramento, but he had them injuries. Like you said, he had them injuries too.
But here's why Jermaine, just like Tim Pickett, the reason guys like Jermaine Taylor and Tim Pickett, and just like the kid Blakely that was just with the Bulls, struggle in the NBA is because there's, like at UCF, Jermaine didn't have to do a lot of stuff. He didn't have to play defense. He didn't have to run the offense. Just shoot the ball. And he could do that better than anybody that he played against. In the pros, it's about timing, spacing, and being where you want. That's right, and being where you're supposed to be. He did not, and you could watch his game. His body wasn't built to do that. Jermaine's body wasn't built to be sliding side to side defending nobody. His body was built to shoot. So when you take those guys like that, which is why I took my child and I taught my child how to be some of you, how to be some of Sean, how to be some of MJ, how to be some of Bill, how to be some of Kevin. And I told him, listen, if you got one flaw in your game, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Because that one flaw in the pros and in college, and in the pros and in the college, they'll take that one flaw. You got Casey here. I like Casey freaking here. I told Casey over and over again. Me and Casey had this conversation. Casey, you got to get that jump shot right. Here's why Casey could never get his jump shot right. Casey's form that they was trying to get Casey to shoot with didn't fit the length of Casey's arm. Casey got Allen Iverson arm. So his form stops at a certain point where he ends up flicking the basketball, especially when he jumps. And once you start lifting weights, that eliminates you being shooting a basketball ain't got nothing to do with camp, no technique, no none of that. It's about a natural motion that your body uses to have a set to put the ball in the basketball. So that's why they don't change guys like Sean Marion shots no more and all those guys. That's why Shaq can't shoot free throws because his hand weighs 300 pounds. So Casey never got to the point where don't change the shot. Shoot the ball in the basket the best way you feel comfortable.
The best way.
And everybody tried to change that to what it looked good. And like Marquez Porter couldn't. Marquez Porter had one of the ugliest shots in the world, but it might go in. But of course, he wasn't gonna go to college with that. But you don't change those things. But that's why we talking real stuff, huh? And what we talking about? The only reason and the only other kid that I left off the Leesburg list that should be on the Leesburg list, and I left him off because his career was so upside down. But the best player out of everybody that I just named from Leesburg, was Darrell Douglas.
Yeah, Jarrell was a beast in college, though. Oh my God!
And the reason,
I read about it. Yeah.
And the reason it was tough for high school is the year that he was the best player on varsity, he tore his ACL and it ended his season short. And so what's crazy, the following year when he came back, because he never rehabbed or none of that, he came back just as dominant, and he had a good run. He averaged 25, 30 a game. He killed. Right after high school, he tore his going to college, he tore his ACL again. People don't even know that. Went to JUCO All-American. Could have went to a four-year school, but they were scared to take because he couldn't pass that physical. So Limestone took him, and they rehabbed him, and they got him back in shape. Limestone All-American. Yeah, Limestone All-American for 2 years. Senior year, after sitting out a couple years, senior year, going in, he was a preseason player of the year, leading scorer in the conference, broke all the school records, freaking tore his ACL on the other leg again, and he never been the same since then. And so hearing his name and seeing all that stuff.
When I was at Cleveland State, we played him the first time. He killed us, and we ended up beating him. And then we were going to play him, and like a week before that, they said he tore his ACL. And I was like, wow. In a high school game, right, in an AAU game against Calatheus and Chad and what's the name? Nick Calatheus, Team Nike, Florida.
Parsons.
And Chandler Parsons. Listen, and Chandler Parsons and the kids from the Brevard Bulls. Jarrell gave Chandler them 50, and he gave the Brevard Bulls 40, right? Right after the game, the dude that's Chandler Parsons and Nick Calatheus' agent right now came up and said, I need all his information. The week that he came to Leesburg to watch that kid play in high school is the week that he freaking tore his goddamn ACL, man. And we never heard from them guys again. So it's freaky situations like that. But he still got his degree. He still graduated. So I'm gonna go back on my list. I'm gonna take Joe Tooley off my list, and I'm gonna put Jarrell Douglas on the Leesburg list.
He was that nice.
That's big. That's big time. That's big time, Mark. That's big time, Mark.
And here's why I'm taking Joe. But listen, here's why I'm taking Joe off. If I look at how their life turned out, I gotta take Joe off.
Yeah.
Everybody else went to college and pretty much graduated. I gotta take Joe off. Me personally, I gotta take him off.
I ain't do nothing with it.
Nothing. And so I'll make him my sixth man because his talent will speak for itself. But to me, I'm sorry, man. My son look up to these guys. He look up to all y'all. And I don't want my son looking up to somebody that ain't do nothing with their game. That's why I love Keon. Me and Keon talk all the time. His mom tried to take him from the JUCO he was at, and I begged her to leave him there because he needed to grow up. And watching him play right now, because Keon had a terrible attitude in AAU in high school. Terrible attitude.
He did. And so, by his senior year, he was good.
Campbell did a good job, and his AAU coaches that I had with him playing them, they did a good job with him. And the people around him, his mom and his brother. But him and my son was supposed to go to Alabama together. People don't know that. My son chose not to go to Alabama. Mm-hmm. Keon gonna do well at Alabama. He gonna do well at Alabama. And this is what we're trying to do now. We're trying to send these guys, because guys back in those days were good. They weren't getting these kind of scholarship offers. But now we know better, so we put them in better situations. Right.
Yeah.
So, Bill should have been a pro. He didn't make it. This other guy, Wesley Green, man, Wesley should have been a goddamn pro. He had every opportunity in the world to do it. For some strange reason,
he was up there with Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler too was up there in Chicago.
Yep.
Out of high school.
And went to every workout that they had, all that. I get it.
Yeah.
In the NBA, you gotta have a work ethic. You gotta have a motor. And I don't know if Wesley was mentally ready for that yet. But he graduated, got his degree,
he did.
And he impacted his community 100.
Right.
So he deserved to be where he is.
Yeah.
Those guys deserve it. Corey, you deserve it. Sean graduated, got a good job taking care of his family. Brad, he's still playing. Guys deserve that credit. Greg Britton, if I had to take somebody off of this, I don't know what Greg's doing right now, but Greg went to college. And he kept getting himself in some crazy situations.
Hey, I graduated next year, FYI. But anyway, go ahead.
He graduated what? That's what I'm talking about, boy. But that's what's important, man. That's what's important. So, and I'm working on Cadreas right now. So if y'all see that young buck, he at a JUCO, he's one of them ones, man. That's my guy. He's straddling that fence. He's straddling the fence, man. And my son is one. He got all the opportunity.
I was wondering why he was at our practice though the other week. I was like, dang, why ain't you? Like the season starting. He was with us in like January. Drake.
Who Cadreas?
They was coming out practice and everything at the Bird.
Yeah. Listen, he was at Limestone, and the coach that recruited him had quit right before he got there. But Cadreas
it was Chad Keller, right?
No, that wasn't Chad. It was Brandon Scott. Scott. And so he was there, and it was just it was a good situation if Brandon would have stayed there, but it was a bad situation because they made the assistant coach the head coach, and Drake couldn't play. And we all know what it's like to be on the bench and can't play. It's tough because now it's hard to stay focused. In that process, he got shot. Coming home, hanging out with some of his friends, accidentally got shot in the leg. So now he's kind of in limbo with the JUCO, and he got to wait till the season comes. And so it's good. Also, by the way, if y'all know any jitterbug that's like Bradley, I've been talking to his dad, the NCAA just changed the rules. You ain't got to pass the ACT or the SAT right now to go to college if you're 2020. So if there's any kids close to you that's trying to decide whether they're going 4 years or JUCO and they got a 4-year school that want them, tell them to rethink that and go to that 4-year school, man. Get the freak out of here.
That's major, man. Major.
Yeah. And that's only for this year, too, though.
Yeah. Listen, man, we're running over 2 hours, man. I surely appreciate y'all, man. We got to come.
Hey, are you posting this?
Yeah. I'm gonna go through it and listen to it again and edit. I don't think I'm gonna have to edit much, man. I'm gonna just run it like it is because it flows right. So I'm gonna post it, man. Maybe tomorrow afternoon, maybe tomorrow evening, and post it, man, on my podcast page, man. And we'll run from there, man. But I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Real quick, let me give my kudos to Sean P. That was me. That's my bad, Sean P. And y'all know the last dance of Michael Jordan on the night at 9, so I'll holler at y'all.
That part.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right.
For sure, man. Right. For sure, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Well, this one's in the books. Until next time.